Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Walnut Crawdads pregame show. I am your host, Justin DeHaas, alongside me, my co-host, Kobe Siegel, and we have CCL Wildcard Tuesday here on the Walnut Creek Crawdads streaming network between the 3 seed Lincoln Potters and the 2 seed Walnut Creek Crawdads, and the winner of this game will face the number 1 seed Healdsburg Prune Packers at Recreation Park tomorrow. And so we'll see what these two teams can do. I mean, we've been talking about must-win games all week, and well, when you're in the playoffs, is inherently must win. And so we got to see how these two teams will fare. But Kobe, what you liking for this game?
Well, this is obviously now this is the biggest game of the year for the Crawdads. This is talk about must wins. This is the must win game of the year. Obviously, if you win, you're done. Everyone goes home. But if you win, then going to Healdsburg. So Tyler Blair on the mound. Tyler Blair has a chance to cement himself as a Crawdads legend forever.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Big day in baseball. The trade deadline passed in the MLB about 40 minutes ago, but we got something even bigger than that. We got CCL playoffs in the baseball world. And so, yeah, you mentioned Tyler Blair, and let's just talk about it. I mean, he's going to get the start today. I would say he pitched 5 innings on Thursday against Healdsburg. So, with it being Tuesday, he's got about 5 days full rest. And, yeah, I mean, look, he pitched well against Healdsburg, maybe like 3 innings, I'd say. I think something Brant was saying before the game. So, maybe he's not as stretched out as he was before with his 5. But, yeah, if he can go through the lineup a couple times through, I mean, he's obviously been very good. CCL Showcase Game All-Star, and he's really been in the rotation for his last couple starts now. So, I mean, yeah, if you can get a good outing from him, look for guys like maybe EJ McGrew coming out of the bullpen to give you a few innings, or on the hot list it just says all, which is what it's been saying for the last few days now. So not exactly sure who Brant's going to throw out there, but those are just a couple names to look at. But yeah, talk to me about TB18.
Well, Ty, Tyler Blair. Um, uh, we talked on the podcast that we thought that he was likely going to be the starter, and there's reason for that in terms of available starters for this game. He is the guy you trust the most, and he has been really good recently, especially at getting ground balls. So this defense for the Crawdads that we've seen at times it's faltered, but for the entire season, this infield defense has been pretty good. Especially, I think they have with Matt King at short, Ryan Ellis the second. I think those are their best up the middle combination. I think if Tyler Blair can continue to get ground balls, keep the ball out of the air at Monte Vista, um, it's if on a hot day it can turn into a little bit of a home run party. So I think it's a good opportunity for Tyler Blair to keep the ball on the ground.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think the big thing too is I mentioned guys like Blair and maybe McGrew. I think if those guys can give you like 6 innings combined in this game, I think you're in a really good spot. Ideally, you wouldn't use Dylan McShane today. You would hope that if you could try to get a win without him, maybe he becomes your starter for a game tomorrow. But at the same time, you can't really plan for tomorrow because tomorrow's not guaranteed. You got to win this game first, and it starts with Tyler Blair on the mound. And on the other side, the Lincoln Potters are going to be rolling with Craig Schmidt. And you look at what he's done in the CCL, and his last outing against Healdsburg, 5 2/3 innings, 2 runs allowed, neither of them were earned, 6 hits, no walks, 10 strikeouts, and he got the victory in that one. And I mean, that's by far his best outing of the year. The Crawdads did run across him on July 16th, which was his last outing before that Healdsburg one. He only pitched 2 outs there. So haven't really seen him too much in person. But, I mean, look, coming off his best outing, you look at his numbers at Minot State, and he's got a 5 ERA in 49 innings there. So, maybe his college stats aren't necessarily super impressive. But, I mean, yeah, he carved up the Prune Packers, who, as we all know, is the number 1 seed in the North. And so he's coming in off a hot outing, and he's looking to try and extend that. What do you see from Schmidt today?
Well, when I first looked at the lineup, I saw Craig Schmidt. My first thought was, Oh no, we're in for a tough battle. And yeah, I mean the last time a 10 strikeout performance at Healdsburg, but he hasn't pitched in 11 days, which I think for him is probably a good thing. He's coming in as fresh as can be. So the Crawdads are going to have a real tough test, and with an offense that has been really struggling lately compared to what they usually do. I mean, the Crawdads really gotta be on their game, but we've seen the strikeouts kind of be there for the Crawdads. They've been striking out a lot. I think they struck out uh, over 20 times in the two games combined at Sonoma this weekend. So, and Craig Schmidt, a guy who strikes out people, we saw it against Healdsburg. Um, it's gonna be a tough test.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you talk about how he'll be fresh coming off about a week and a half of rest, but I think he'll also be a little rusty to start off potentially. Like, I think if the Crawdads can get some damage on him early, that's going to be the way that they're going to be able to win this game because he should be able to pitch for as long as he wants. He pitched about into the sixth inning against Healdsburg, and he very well could do that again here today. Obviously, we'll probably be on a little bit of a shorter leash considering that's a playoff game, but if he's rolling like he was against Healdsburg, there's no indication that they're going to take him out any sooner than what they did before. But yeah, look, hasn't pitched in a week and a half, so he might be a little rusty, and that's when the Crawdads need to do their damage. And talk about Crawdads doing damage. Let's just talk about the lineup. Ryan Ellis batting leadoff at second base, followed by Brian DeRoff in right, Cole Fells in left, Matt King at short, Tyson Pointer DH, Joey Donnelly at first, Max Farfan at third, Casey Cummings in center, and Ryder Helfrich behind the plate. And what I noticed here is we were talking about this when we first got here about what the lineup could look like. And Ellis has been your leadoff hitter all year. He has been struggling lately, so that's something to keep your eye out on. But Brian DeRoff, Cole Fellows, Matt King, Pointer, those are probably your best hitters in the lineup right now, and they're hitting 2 through 5 respectively. Donnelly's been a little cold lately as well, but as we all know, CCL Steel's leader, and he's still hitting above 300 for the season. Max Farfan tied in home runs with Tyson Pointer, so got some power there. Casey Cummings is a guy who's going to need to turn things around if the Crawdads are going to want to win it all. He was crucial at the beginning of the year, and he has been out the last couple weeks because of injury, but even before that, he was still struggling a little bit. It's been moved down in the lineup to eighth, but at least his defense in center field should help. And Ryder Helfrich in ninth. This is a kid who could be hitting leadoff. He is hitting above 300 for the Crawdads right now, 362 in fact, and he, quite frankly, we talked about he's the most talented player on the team. He's just the best player on the team in general. I mean, there's a reason why he's going to Arkansas, right? Like he's a really good player, and look, in that ninth spot, he's going to act as a second leadoff hitter, and that's what they're going to need considering Ryan Ellis has been in a slump of late. But yeah, I mean, what do you look at when you see this lineup?
Well, do I do want to talk about Ryder Helfrich because that was my first thought. I was kind of hoping we would see Ryder Helfrich towards the top of the order because considering in this down stretch for the Crawdads offense, Ryder Helfrich has been just incredible. We can look at his stats the last week. So my hotspot just went out, but from memory, he's hitting at least over 400. His on base percentage of like 500. I mean, he's just been okay. Yeah, Ryder Helfrich. He has a 450 average, 476 on base percentage, and a 650 slugging percentage. So that turns into 9 for 20 stretch his last 5 games. So I mean, he's been on fire, and yeah, I mean his zone hiccup was some throwing errors at second base, but offensively, Ryder Helfrich has been the best player on the team this last week. So I was really hoping to see him near the top of the lineup. Now, Ryan Ellis is hard because he's been um the season overall he's been your best hitter, but just the last kind of 2 weeks ever since the All-Star break, it's been a tough go for him. So we saw him hit the home run. I thought, all right, that's the turning point. But um, he's kind of been a a, a 200 on base percentage guy the last week. So he's got to turn around. If the Cardinals are gonna have any chance, it's got to start with him.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the Crawdads lineup, they had 6 CCL Showcase Game All Stars, right? It was Ryan Ellis, who's now struggling of late, Joey Donnelly, who's been struggling of late, Casey Cummings, who has been struggling of late, Ryan Brome, who left the team, Griffin Harrison, who not even in the lineup today. Matt King's really the only one who's kind of stayed consistent since that break, and he's batting cleanup again today. And so, yeah, look, this it's a very deep lineup, like we always say, but I mean, right now it's just not at its best, and it's not good, obviously, that they're slumping at the wrong time. But I mean, look, you got the day off, and hopefully flip a switch. But it doesn't help that you're facing Craig Schmidt on the other side, who, as we talked about, has been doing really well. But let's just talk about the Lincoln lineup. So you got Zach Chamizo hitting leadoff, Austin Menacini at second, Pat Herrera third. Nolan Wilson hitting fourth, Luke Lavin hitting fifth, not Dom Rodriguez sixth, Alex Johnson seventh, Jordan Lewis eighth, and Justin Menacini, aka JJ, is ninth. And so, I mean, the thing is, talk about how Crawdads have some guys who have been struggling of late. The thing about Lincoln is they just have some guys who are just not in the lineup. You look at guys like Justin Olson, Chase Jans, Luke Auden, Payne Brennan. All these guys were hitting above 300 in double-digit games played this year, and they're no longer with the squad. So clearly Lincoln isn't at full strength either. And I mean, look, Tyler Blair's going to have to take advantage of a Potter squad that still has some very good players. I mean, you look at Chamizo, Pat Herrera, Nolan Wilson, Luke Lavin. Like, these are good players, but I mean, clearly Lincoln's not where they could be. And like I said, TB's got to take advantage of that.
Yes, but Lincoln, if you look at compare the last weeks for these two teams, Lincoln the last week is hitting 315 with a 459 on base percentage. And they're walking about as often as they strike out. So this Lincoln offense is definitely in a lot better shape than the Crawdads, and obviously that starts with the leadoff hitter Zach Chamiso. He has been just incredible this uh, this entire season. I mean, a 313 batting average, 453 on base, 465 slugging percentage. Uh, he's got 3 triples, including a few against the Crawdads. So, I mean, he is someone that the Crawdads are going to have to watch out for. And Tyler Blair, I think he's got to get that first out. I mean, obviously, it's like it's the same as getting an out any other time, but just for some confidence, calm him down, get Chamizo out, get through that first inning, and Patrick Herrera, the 3 hitter, he has also been red hot this entire season. Um, he has a 500 on base percentage this season. So yeah, he's pretty good. He also has 4 bombs, a couple against the Crawdads, walked 18 times, strikeout 19. Those two are the guys that it starts with.
Yeah, and talk about how the Potters have lost some players, but one guy that they added, Austin Messini, he's hitting second today. He only has 3 at-bats in the CCL this summer. He's only played in 2 games. So it's a little surprising to me that a kid like this is hitting second, especially because you've got guys like Pat Herrera hitting 300, over above 300, Noel Wilson hitting above 300, Luke Lavin, the Stanford commits, hitting 289. All those guys are behind him, and I'm sure he's a good player. It's just we haven't really seen it yet. He's only had 3 at-bats, so that's a little surprising. I'm curious to see how he does today. But, yeah, I mean, look, we've got matchup between the second and third place teams in the North right now. And like I said, the winner will take on the Healdsburg Prune Packers tomorrow. But I mean, we've got just a 1 game here, 1 off. You win, you move on to Healdsburg. If you lose, you're done. And I mean, the way that look, both these teams have had good seasons. Crawdads finished 25-10, Lincoln Potters 18-15. Lincoln 7-3 in their last 10 games, and one of these teams just not going to be able to play much longer. It's just the sad reality of the CCL playoffs and the way that structure is. But you got any final thoughts before we hand it off to Austin Carson?
Well, a lot of times in baseball we talk about okay, who's hot going into the postseason. The Crawdads are the opposite of hot. Even after sweeping the Pack are just kind of brutal 3 games. But the regular season at this point doesn't matter. Whatever happened, it's behind us. Now, I mean, you had to go out there and win one game. Anything can happen in one game. So these Crawdads are gonna have to fight, and I know Ryan Brome said this is the grittiest team he's been a part of. Um, they, they certainly will not give up, especially knowing that this could be their last day together.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Last game, the Crawdads will play at Monte Vista. Packed house, everyone standing. It's rocking. We're ready for some Crawdads baseball. And yeah, I mean, look, we're going to have first pitch roughly in about 4 minutes or so. We'll see if the CCL playoff game gets started on time. That's always a good question. Get the over under started on that. But we'll start wrapping up here. So for my co-host Kobe Siegel, I am Justin DeHaas. Thank you again for listening to the Walnut Creek Crawdads pregame show. Stay tuned for Austin Oda and Carson Mercier on the call. Always electric as always. Our wonderful broadcasters. You see the managers there. They're ready for some baseball. It's the CCL playoffs, baby. Come on, get hyped. So thank you again for listening to our pregame show.
Crawdads are trying to win their first playoff game since they won the CCL championship in 2014 and their first under the helm of manager Brant Cummings here against the Lincoln Potters at Monte Vista High School in Danville, California. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the broadcast booth. My name is Carson Mercier alongside GM and colorman Austin Oda, and we're bringing you coverage of the wild card round between the Walnut Creek Crawdads and the visiting Lincoln Potters. The Lincoln Potters coming into today 18 and 15 in league play. They've won 7 out of their last 10 games. The Crawdads 25 and 10, 6 out of their last 10. Let's take a look at the Potters starting 9. Zach Chamizo leads it off. He's at shortstop. Austin Menacini does a designated hitter out of the 2-hole. Pat Herrera, the second baseman, bats third. Nolan Wilson, the right fielder, bats fourth. Luke Lavin, the catcher, bats fifth. Dom Rodriguez is at first. He's batting sixth. Alex Johnson is in left, batting seventh. Jordan Lewis is in center field. And Justin Menacini is the third baseman, rounding it out. They will be facing the righty Tyler Blair.
Blair has been tremendous this year. A 3-0 record, a 2.38 ERA in his 22 2/3 innings pitched. 21 strikeouts, 10 walks. The last time out, he went 5 innings, didn't give up an earned run against the Healdburg Prune Packers. He's been good against the Potters. He went 2 shutout innings against them on the 16th of July, and he's looking to at least do the same, if not more, to start today's game.
He inscribes a message into the back of the mound and steps on the rubber, just about ready for first pitch at Monte Vista High School. Zach Chamizo stands in from the left side, and we're just about ready. Here's the first pitch of the afternoon. It's a fastball, a touch outside. 1-0 to Chamizo. First pitch, 4:02 with the first pitch temperature 82 degrees. It's sunny. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by Meadowlark Dairy, trying to hang on to the Old Town vibe since the early 1900s. 1-0 lined right back up the middle into center field. A leadoff single for Zach Chamizo. This is what the Crawdads defense is looking like. Cole Fellows, Casey Cummings, and Brian Duroff. That's the outfield, left to right. Infield, third, first, Max Farfan, Matt King, Ryan Ellis, Joey Donnelly. Ryder Helfrich does the catching for Tyler Blair. Helfrich, Blair, the battery. Here's Austin Menacidi, the designated hitter, who's only had 3 at-bats in 2 games this summer. He's 1 for 3, has not faced the Crawdads. First pitch to him is a slider on the outside, a called strike from Blair, 0-1.
Good job by Blair to get ahead in the count. That's always his big thing. He's not a guy that throws a lot of first pitch strikes, just 45% of his at-bats first pitch strikes.
0-1. Change up in the dirt. Good block by Helfrich, who pounces on it and keeps Chamizo on first base. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. The Lincoln Potters this summer have been pretty good against the Walnut Creek Crawdads. 268, 406, 412 is their slash. The 819 OPS, 7 home runs. Not really striking out a lot as the 1-1 is fouled back in and out of the catcher's glove. Count goes 1-2.
Yeah, the Potters have kind of had the Crawdads number, especially of late. Took 2 of 3 against them in a series late that if the Crawdads had won one of those 2, they would have finished first place in the North. So this Lincoln Potters team has definitely kind of been a Crawdads killer.
1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. A runner on first is Chamizo. Righty on righty matchup, change up just off the outside. Called a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the designated hitter, Austin Menacini.
Still like the spot, trying to get that double play. If he hits the ball, it's a double play ball to either King or Ellis up the middle.
2-2. Blair set at the belt. A peek to first, now to the plate. Slider waved at and missed. First strikeout for Tyler Blair is the first out in the first inning.
I got a very, very ugly swing atop that slider. For Blair, it'll be really interesting to see what he has in the tank today. He's going on Major League starters rest, 4 days of rest. It's a big ask for a guy coming off an injury, but he has shown he's got that dog in him. He's been great all summer.
Here's Pat Herrera, second baseman, is having a fantastic summer. 317, 4 homers, and 14 RBIs. First pitch, fastball, just off the black, 1-0 to the second baseman who bats from the right side. Against the Crawdads, 6 for 22, a home run. Last game against the Admirals was 1 for 5 with a double and 2 RBIs. Here's the 1-0, fastball off the hands, fouled into the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Love the way he's able to bounce back in that count. After giving off the leadoff single, he's looked really good. He's staying in the zone. He's able to work his pitches, and that's what Tyler Blair does best.
Saw him in that last start, which you talked about against Healdsburg was really working below the zone well. Only one strikeout, but a lot of weak contact, a lot of ground balls. See for that to be in play today. This one is in there for a strike, pretty much right down the middle with the fastball. Count goes 1-2.
Now way ahead in the count, he's got a bunch of options he can work with. He's shown that slider today that's been really good. Also has a killer changeup.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the first with Shimizo leading off first. Blair, a couple of looks there, now goes to the plate. This one's grounded at Ryan Ellis. He will flip the second. There's one on to first, is a little offline, but Donnelly applies the tag for out number 3. So a hit, no runners left on, no runs for the Potters in the top of the first. We're going to the bottom of the first at Monte Vista High School. Home half of the first inning with the Crawdads coming up at Monte Vista High School. This is what their lineup is looking like. Ryan Ellis leading off, he's at second base. Brian Duroff bats second, is in right field. Colt Fellows bats third, he's in left. Matt King, the shortstop, bats fourth. Tyson Pointer, the designated hitter, bats fifth. Joey Donnelly, the first baseman, bats sixth. Max Farfan, the third baseman, batting seventh. Batting eighth is Casey Cummings in center field. And rounding it out for the Crawdads is the catcher, Ryder Helfrich, going up against Craig Schmidt.
Craig Schmidt has been very good this summer in a limited sample size. 14 innings pitched, 19 strikeouts to 3 walks. He's 2-0, a 3.21 ERA, coming off of a thoroughly dominant performance against the Healdsburg Prune Packers. We went 5 2/3 innings, gave up no earned runs, gave up 6 hits, but struck out 10 Prune Packers. Big strikeout guy, big guy, older guy. He's about 24, 25. He took a couple years off of college baseball, but out of Mino State D2 product, local kid, trying to do something for his hometown team.
The Potters today were rocking the blue with the American flag almost inscribed into the numbers with the blue cap. Crawdads in their classic home red and white. The red tops with the craw across their chest with the white outlines, black lettering, and of course the white pinstriped pants. Stepping up to the plate to lead off the home half of the first inning is the second baseman, Ryan Ellis. Ellis, 329, 4 homers, and 23 runs batted in. First at-bat of the summer against Craig Schmidt. Schmidt, the big, tall righty, peers over his glove. Here's the first pitch of the bottom of the first. It's a fastball, a little bit high, a little bit outside, 1-0. Ellis has not been great in the past week or so. Here's the 1-0 from Schmidt. Fastball, line drive, left field, not too deep. Playable for Alex Johnson. He came in, now went back a little bit to make the catch for the first out. This is the Lincoln Potters defense. Alex Johnson, Jordan Lewis, Nolan Wilson, outfield left to right. Justin Menacini, Zach Shimizo, Pat Herrera, Dom Rodriguez, infield third to first. Luke Lavin does the catching for Craig Schmidt. And here's BD, Brian Duroff, the right fielder. 288, 4 homers, and 31 runs batted in. Schmidt delivers a curveball, ran in, and hit him.
Dads will take it. Needed base runners. They have loved to run against these Potters this year. They have 27 steals, have only been caught 3 times. Duroff, not the biggest steal threat, but a guy that you like to have on base. He's a smart base runner. He'll take advantage when he needs to.
The hit by pitch with 1 out will bring up Cole Fellows, the left fielder, who has been awesome this summer. 313, 3 homers, 30 runs batted in. Bats with the 1 out and a runner on first base. First pitch fastball, just a little bit down and out. 1-0. Was 2 for 4 yesterday, and against the Potters this summer is 7 for 21 with a couple of doubles. Been elevating the ball to the pull side a little bit more, so we've seen some more power from Fellows. The 1-0 way outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, what's been impressive about the power from Fellows is he's kept the discipline while also adding the power. Still doesn't strike out a ton, still likes to attack early. He knows that's when he's going to get a lot of hanging breakers or fastballs that he can do damage with.
Throw over to first, but back safely in a dive is Brian Duroff, so we'll wait for the 2-0. No score after half an inning. Crawdads have a runner on first base, and Brian Duroff, he got hit by a pitch. 2-0 to Fellows. Fastball just below the knees. 3 balls and no strikes to the left fielder.
And these Crawdads will take base runners any way they can get them. They have not been hitting the ball well recently. They just need to get on base, keep the line moving. Hitting's contagious.
3-0. Schmidt to Fellows. Fastball right down the middle. Fellows kind of just had the bat on the shoulder, was taking all the way. And back to your point, hitting is contagious. It's contagious both ways. A lot of guys struggling in this lineup right now. Their last 7 games, 241 average is down from a 290 season average. 3-1 to Fellows. Fastball on the outside to fill it up. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, over the last week, averaging just under 6 runs a game, which sounds okay, but again, compared to their season totals, not as pretty. And a lot of that came on one big explosion against Sonoma.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Schmidt. Outside, ball 4. So the hit by pitch, then the walk to Cole Fellows. There's runners on first and second, 1 out, and Matt King is coming up.
And I think we should take a little deeper look on how much this Crawdads offense has been struggling. We mentioned under 6 runs a game, but your core 4, Donnelly, Harrison, Ellis, Cummings, those are 4 guys that have been very good all summer for the Crawdads. Combined 5 for 54 over the last week of play. It's not going to play.
No, not at all. Matt King stepping up and overall has had a good summer. 296, a homer, and 31 runs batted in. First and second, just 1 out. Fastball misses down low, 1-0. To be fair, Casey Cummings, first game back from injury, and did put a ball in play to center field, which was hit pretty well, just right at the center fielder. Got a sac fly. 1-0 to King is a fastball popped up left side. Alex Johnson, the left fielder, coming in. Shimizu going out. It'll be Johnson who's able to reach down and make the catch for the second out of the bottom of the first inning.
Feels like you got a score here. Right now you have one of your hottest hitters at the plate. Tyson Pointer has hit really, really well this summer and extremely well of late. Hits Potter's pitching well. With runners in scoring position, he's been good. Big spot early in this game.
262, 7 homers, 25 runs batted in for the designated hitter. Tyson Pointer was 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout yesterday, but you said it, 12 for 30 against Lincoln Potter's pitching. A couple of doubles, a couple of homers. First pitch from Schmidt is a fastball hit pretty well, straight away center field. Lewis going back to the track. He'll now come in and make the catch for out number 3. So the Crawdads get a couple of runners on via the hit by pitch and the walk, but leave a pair. They don't score. No score after 1 at Monte Vista High School. Nolan Wilson, Luke Lavin, and Dom Rodriguez for the Potters in the top of the second inning. No score at Monte Vista High School in Danville, California. It's game 1 of the CCL North playoffs. It's the wild card round. Wilson stepping up from the right side on to face Tyler Blair. Blair worked a 1-2-3 inning in the first, in quotations, gave up a leadoff single, first pitch to Wilson as a slider, waved at, missed, nothing in one, but escaped it with a strikeout and a 4-6-3 double play. Nolan Wilson coming into today has been great. 330, couple of homers, 23 runs batted in. Has struggled a little bit against Crawdad pitching. 0-1 from Blair. Looked like a changeup that skipped in front of Ryder Helfrich's glove. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's 8 for 30, but 9 strikeouts.
Yeah, only 1 extra base hit. He's been really their best player that's still here, Nolan Wilson has. A guy you expect to do a little more against the Crawdads.
1 ball, 1 strike. Blair from the windup, slider, swung on, missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes, went downstairs. That was the money pitch against the Healdsburg Prune Packers, 4 days ago? Down in the zone. Changeups and curveballs were great for Blair. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Changeup hit on the ground, right side, through the right side into right field. A base hit. Leadoff single for Nolan Wilson, and in both the first and second innings, the Potters have a leadoff runner on.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth. Leadoff runners in both innings is not going to be helpful if you're looking to go deep into a ball game. We really don't know the leash that Tyler Blair has today, but he would love to give the Crawdads as much as he can give them today before hopefully heading to Healdsburg tomorrow. But again, you got to win today's.
Here's the young catcher, Luke Lavin. 289, 2 homers, and 15 runs batted in. I think the potential for this kid is it's through the roof, comparable to Ryder Helfrich for sure. That's with nobody on, or a runner on first and nobody out. First pitch, fastball on the outside, a strike, nothing in 1.
Yeah, he's going to be good. Simple as that.
Wind is blowing in from left field. No balls, 1 strike. Blair set at the belt. Here's the 0-1. Fastball line back into the net and kind of ricochets off the net back to the feet of Luke Lavin, but he goes down in the count, nothing in 2.
Tyler Blair has done a great job. Even when the first pitch strikes haven't really been there, he's been just ahead in the count to all the batters. You know, we talk about first pitch strikes, but really it's one of the first 2, 2 of the first 3, some variation of that.
Lavin in a hole, no balls, 2 strikes. Wilson off first, a small lead off first, leaning towards the second base bag. Blair will go to the plate. It's called strike 3. His second strikeout of the day comes on a changeup that looked to be a little bit down.
I looked down, looked in. I thought actually the home plate umpire, Ron Adams, was going to say that it hit Luke Lavin somehow, maybe skimmed him a little bit. But Crawdads will take the strike 3, similar to what we saw in the first inning. Leadoff single followed by a strikeout. Now Blair would love to repeat history again, get that double play ball.
It's Dom Rodriguez, the first baseman, has really, really struggled on the summer. Just batting a $180, no homers, 7 runs batted in. First pitch is lined into left field. Fellows will come in, but it'll bounce right in front of him. Second hit of the inning, and the first for Dom Rodriguez. There's runners on first and second, just 1 down.
Yeah, ball was just smoked by Rodriguez. If you remember, all the way back to the first time these 2 teams played, he had 4 hits in that game, and other than that has been over. He's really struggled.
So after 2 hits and a strikeout, here comes Alex Johnson, the number 7 hitter in this Potters lineup. Playing left field today, 350, a homer, 7 runs batted in. 2 runners on, just 1 out in the top of the second. No score yet at Monte Vista High School. First pitch from Blair, slider down and away, 1-0.
Good job by Helfrich to kind of trap that ball behind the plate, and then he gets it back to the mound with some zip, putting some urgency in Blair. Helfrich realizes how big this game is, and I think Blair does too. He's not a guy that we've ever been concerned, has been worried that, just summer ball.
1-0. Blair set. Here it comes to the plate. Change up in the dirt. They're going to appeal down to first, but no go, says the first base umpire, Ron McGath. It's a 3-man crew. Ron Adams behind the plate, Ron McGath at first base, and Matt Bullis at third. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Alex Johnson at the plate, stands from the right side. Blair, a long look to the plate, now set. 2-0. Fastball popped up just beyond the infield. Ellis moving over and to his left. In the dirt of the grass, he's able to make the catch, fighting the sun for the second out of the second inning.
Yeah, big out number 2. Really, this bottom third plus of the lineup, we really haven't seen much of. Rodriguez has seen the Crawdads a good amount, but Johnson, Lewis, and Mendocini combined 9 at-bats against Crawdads pitching this year, so it'll be interesting to see what that bottom third can do, and I think that that benefits the pitcher, especially with a guy like Tyler Blair, who's got so many pitches that he can go to in any count. He's got the advantage there.
Center fielder Jordan Lewis, a guy that has not played the Crawdads yet this summer, has had a good short summer. First pitch from Blair. Slider, a check swing, and no go. 1-0. 364, no homers and 2 runs batted in for Jordan Lewis.
But he's a local kid, returning SRV graduate, teammate of Ryan Delaney in high school.
It's a good combo. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Wilson on second, Rodriguez on first. 1-0 from the righty Blair, fastball. He just pull yanked that one and misses way outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Lewis.
Yeah, no more pull yanking.
Yeah.
Trust your stuff. It's never really been the concern with Blair.
Top of the second inning, no score, but the Potters threatening. Blair, a couple of looks to second. Here's the 2-0 to the plate. Fastball down the middle, rolled over left side. Farfan throws it into left field, and a run coming home to score. Throw going to third from the right fielder, Duroff. It's cut off, and time is called as the home plate umpire, Ron Adams, is not exactly sure what happened, but the E5 on Max Farfan will have runners on the corners, and the Potters strike first, at least for now.
I think they're calling obstruction on Matt King. I don't think it really would have mattered, but just a brutal error by Farfan.
Could have ended the inning. Instead, Nolan Wilson comes around to score. Rodriguez goes into third, and like I said, Potters have first and third, 2 outs, and Justin Mendocini coming to the plate. Good start to his summer, just 5 for 12. A late ad for this Lincoln Potters. Starting to stop off first. The pitch is taken to the lefty for a ball, 1-0. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs, runners on the corners. Blair working from the stretch. Throws over to first base. Pretty weak and back safely in the dive was Jordan Lewis.
Crawdads do not want to have what happened to them against Sonoma happen again today, where they're just throwing the ball around. The throwing errors have really been the biggest problem this year for Walnut Creek.
And King has struggled with throwing in the past few games. 1-0, skips in the dirt, 2-0. 3 throwing errors for Max King in his last 2 games played.
Yeah, that one, I mean, Farfan I feel like has been okay at third,
He
the arm.
He gloves everything, but the throwing has been the problem.
Yeah.
Not much gets past him. 2-0 to the third baseman, Mendocini. It's a fastball, hit down the third base line, a foul ball, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Got a feel for Tyler Blair here. Feels like he made his out pitch to get him out of the inning. Similar to what we saw against Healdsburg, though. It was a Max Farfan throwing error in the first inning of that game that allowed the run to come home to score, and Blair was able to work around it.
Not a guy that gets in his head, frustrated. Brant Cummings has said this guy's smart. He gets it. He gets baseball. 2-1 to Justin Mendocini is rolled over the right side. Ellis will get it on 16 hops, go to first quickly, and retire Mendocini for the third out of the second inning. However, the Potters on a couple of hits and an error score 1 run, take a 1-0 lead. They leave a runner in scoring position. We're going bottom of the second inning. Crawdads coming up. 1-0 Potters in the bottom of the second inning. They scored one on a couple of late. And 26 runs batted in. 0-1 from Schmidt is a curveball that pops out of his hand. 1-1. 1-1 from Schmidt. Another curveball just below the knees. Count goes 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, Donnelly's a guy that's really struggled of late. He's got to get it going. Crawdads are at their best when Donnelly is at his best.
2-1 is a fastball popped up but foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So for the last 6 games, Donnelly is just 3 for 21, 143 average, 143 slugging, and 308 on base percentage. Here's the 2-2 fastball way outside. Count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, it's like my favorite saying, but it reigns true. He's due.
He is.
All these guys, these Crawdads are due for a good day with the bats.
667 OPS for the Crawdad offense in the last week is the 3-2 pitch. Fastball right down the middle, taken for strike 3. First strikeout for Craig Schmidt. Joey Donnelly takes with him the first out of the bottom of the second.
Yeah, not really sure what was going on there. Joey kind of looked like he was guessing and just not guessing fastball because that pitch is right in his wheelhouse.
Donnelly now 1 for his last 14. Here's Max Farfan, the third baseman, who bats from the right side. 243, 10 homers, 33 runs batted in. Schmidt from the windup. First pitch fastball fouled off. 0-1.
When Farf hits them, he hits them in bunches. And I think this would be a good time to start.
Absolutely.
Get a couple bunches in the playoffs.
Wouldn't hurt. Offense that's struggling. 0-1. Slider. On the knees, a called strike. Farfan didn't like it, was almost bending over backwards. Nothing in 2 from Craig Schmidt. Fastball hit in the air right side, foul ground. Moving over is Nolan Wilson, but he'll watch it into the softball field, so the count stays 0-2.
And I think Farfan, you know, we mention all the time, he likes to play defense. He loves getting outs. I think he wants to make up for that error.
Absolutely. It's kind of uncharacteristic. He's been rock solid all summer, and in the past 3 or 4 games, just hasn't quite been himself. 0-2 from Craig Schmidt. Slider swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Craig Schmidt, and there's 2 down in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, it looked like a harder slider than one we had seen before. One maybe a little more cut than slide, but a really nice pitch either way, and Farfan was way late on it.
Here's Casey Cummings, the center fielder, who uncharacteristically batting out of the 8th spot for the Crawdads. 252, 5 homers, and 14 runs batted in. First pitch slider below the zone, 1-0.
I really like that take from Casey. I know it's just one pitch, but that's a pitch that he's gone fishing at a good amount recently.
1-0. Fastball hit on the ground left side, but outside of the third base bag, a foul ball, 1-1.
Love to see him really barrel a ball, even when he, you know, before his real injury, was a little banged up, wasn't himself, and I think hopefully getting a fully healthy Casey Cummings, you know, we've seen what he can do when he's on.
Here's the 1-1 from Craig Schmidt. Slider backdoored him, is called a strike. 1-2. Pretty good pitch from Craig Schmidt. Yeah, Cummings was dealing with the ankle injury and a little bit of the wrist after getting hit by Jaden Bruno. 1-2, fastball popped up, right side, foul ground. Dom Rodriguez running a long way for it, but he'll watch it foul into the turtle. We'll stay 1-2.
Love the hustle.
Yeah, always.
Always.
Reminds me of Brome.
Ryan Brome, I hope you're listening.
Tough subject, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crawdad legend.
Just legend of the game. 1-2 from Schmidt. Fastball off the hands, lined right at the shortstop, Zach Chamizo. He bends down to the hip and makes the catch to retire the side. Craig Schmidt picks up a couple of strikeouts in the second inning. Crawdads go in order. 1-0 Potters after 2. Top of the Potters order here in the top of the third inning. Shimizu, Menacini, and Herrera on to face Tyler Blair, who's been effective today. First pitch slider, a called strike, 0-1. He did give up a run on a couple of hits. The error really, messed up that whole second inning. On Max Farfan with 2 outs, 0-1. Curveball catches the back door, 0-2.
Hiccups?
Yeah.
Tough.
It's been a while since I've
Yeah,
had
it has.
this is interesting. I break my laptop and everything kind of just goes to shambles. 0-2 from Blair. Curveball flipped foul the other way. Count stays 0-2.
It's obviously always important to get ahead, but it's even more important with a guy like Zach Shimizu in the box who has just, he just mashes. He hits everything hard. He's never late. He's never off his timing.
No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, top 3. Curveball high to Shimizu. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Shimizu, 1 of 1. He singled back in the first inning. Just the second pitch of the game. It was a hot shot right back up the middle. Almost took the head off of Tyler Blair. 1-2 to the lefty. A curveball misses on the outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
After getting ahead 0-2, Shimizu fouled off a tough pitch on the inside and then now has kind of bounced back.
2-2 to Blair. Fastball hit on the ground right at Ryan Ellis. He goes to a knee to field it, goes to first, and retires Shimizu for the first out of the third inning.
Always a big out. First one is always the biggest one, but when it's Zach Shimizu, it feels even more imperative.
So mid-game hiccups for you too?
It was kind of just like a
One-time thing?
like a frog in my throat.
Gotcha.
Like I had to gulp a little bit.
Designated hitter, Austin Menacini.
Here's Austin Menacini, the designated hitter, was the first strikeout victim for Tyler Blair back in the first inning. He was also out 1 of that first inning. He stands in from the right side as one of 2 Menacinis in this Potters lineup today. First pitch from Tyler Blair, fastball swung on and missed. He loses the bat. It finds its way into the Potters dugout. It's 0-1.
I feel like that should count for something more than just 1 strike, right? Like you make a guy look that bad at the plate. Bragging rights.
Basketball, you got the and 1, you got a chance at the line.
Right.
Maybe baseball, it goes to 0-2 when you lose the bat.
Or like
Two strikes.
you get like a free pitch without him standing there, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, if you get a called strike, it's called strike. If you miss, it's kind of like a missed free throw.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
I don't hate it.
Call up Rob.
0-1 from the righty Blair. Fastball just off the outside. Not by much, just missed off the black. Helfrich wanted it, but count goes to 1-1.
Very excited in the bottom half of this inning to see Ryder Helfrich at the plate.
Helfrich's been awesome.
He's been very, very good recently.
Here's the 1-1 from Blair. Fastball popped up. Other way, 1-2. It's way foul.
Way foul.
Way foul. So the Crawdads won the season series against the Lincoln Potters. 4-3 they went against Lincoln. They lost 2 of their last 3, however, and really blew a game in which that they should have won, as the 1-2 from Tyler Blair is a fastball high. It was in the 6th inning?
7th?
7th. Late in the game, the Potters scored
8th, actually. Crawdads were up 8-4 in the 8th.
and lost that game 10-6. Curveball flipped foul, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Crawdads were up 10-4.
Yeah.
Lincoln scored 7 in the top of the 8th.
Yep.
Crawdads were able to come back and tie it, but the final was 14-12.
Yeah, that one was devastating.
Devastating.
And when you look at it, finishing 1 game back of the Healdsburg Prune Packers is the 2-2. Is a slider off the end of the bat, past the jumping Matt King into center field. So a bloop base hit for Austin Menacini. He's on with 1 out. When you look at the standings just right now, and Walnut Creek being 1 game back,
Second baseman, Patrick Herrera.
losses like that are really stand out, are really frustrating.
I think that one hurts, but I think if you look at it,
They still had a chance against the Stompers.
they still had a chance against the Stompers. And also, we talk about 3 bad losses, the 2 to the Admirals at the start of the season, the 1 to Lincoln at the end of the season. And I think the reality of it is the Crawdads have had more than their fair share of bad wins. And so when you're having a trade-off like that, at the end of the day,
Cancels out.
to some extent,
Yeah. It's
Crawdads should have probably won a couple more games, but they also probably should have lost a couple more games.
a lot of comeback wins. Very late. First pitch to Pat Herrera, fastball. High and tight. 1-0. Herrera 0 for 1, grounded into the 4-6-3 double play to end the first inning. There's a runner on first, 1 out here in the top of the third. Potters lead 1-0. Small leadoff first for Mendocini. Blair comes to the plate, fastball high, 2-0.
Starting to miss a lot early in the count, especially up high with the fastball. Not where you want to be against a very dangerous, good-hitting Lincoln team.
Crawdads are all hands on deck. The hot list, so to say, literally says all. 2-0, curveball in there for a strike, 2-1. So not exactly sure who we're going to see next.
I have a sneaky suspicion it's going to be E.J. McGrew.
I like that.
I think Cade Cushing, Ryan Troy, both available.
2-1. Fastball lined right at Farfan. He double clutches, goes to first. It is not in time. So the L5, Farfan almost doubles up Austin Mendocini at first base, but they'll take the out of the way.
Absolutely. I thought for a split second, Pat Herrera was going to be 0 for 2 with a pair of double plays, but the Crawdads will take the out. Out number 2.
And Nolan Wilson stepping up, who's 1 of 1. Singled the lead off the second, came around to score on the Max Farfan error. Runner on first, 2 down. Blair to the plate, fastball fouled into the net. 0-1.
Great job to get ahead. I wouldn't be shocked if this was Blair's last inning. I would think he wants to go one more at least, but I think his pitch his pitch limit is probably pretty low today. I would say somewhere in the 50 to 60 range. Again, very short rest, a guy coming off an injury.
The bullpen, I don't want to say it's depleted because I think McGrew is fresh. Troy, maybe not so much. Threw around 60 pitches 2 days ago. This one is grounded left side. Farfan has it by the bag. Long throw to first is in time to retire the side. So no runs on a hit, a runner left on base in the top of the third inning. We're going bottom 3 with the Potters up 1-0. Bottom of the third inning at Monte Vista High School. Crawdads and Potters in the wild card round of the CCL North playoffs. It's the Potters on top of the Crawdads, 1-0. 9-1-2 coming up for the Dads in the bottom of the third. First pitch swinging from Ryder Helfrich, hit pretty well, straight away center field. Back at the wall is Lewis, but he makes the catch on the track for the first out of the third inning. Ryder Helfrich on the first pitch of the inning, gave it a ride.
That's a long way for the first out of an inning. That ball was hit. You know, I think if we count the boomerang effect of that ball was hit about 375 feet and then boomeranged back to be about 340.
Yeah,
But
the wind.
I mean, Lewis was like hand up against the wall, ready to jump up.
And the reaction from the shortstop Shimizo, he kind of just turned around and gave that oh no look. looked like it was going to go. It did not. So 1 up, 1 down, and here's Ryan Ellis, who watches the first pitch miss outside. 1-0. Ellis flew out to left to open up the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 pitch is a fastball, line drive, left center field. That'll get down, a base hit. It splits the gap. Ellis turning around first. He wants two. The center fielder, Lewis, picks it up. His throw is cut off, and Ellis slides into second base. A 1-out double for Ryan Ellis.
That's the Ryan Ellis we've all been waiting for. He's really, really struggled recently. 3 for his last 31 coming into today. The thing about those 3 hits, all of them for extra base hits. Now a home run, 3 doubles. He's starting to swing it. I firmly believe that he hit a ball on the screws in Sonoma. That's a pretty Ryan Ellis swing.
Breaks up the no-hitter.
Wow. Didn't even notice.
In the bottom of the third, 1 out. So not like it was too deep for Craig Schmidt. Here's Brian Duroff, who got hit by a pitch on the first pitch of his last at-bat. Got as far as second base, did not come around to score. First pitch to him, here's a slider outside. The catcher, Luke Lavin, lunging to his right to get it.
And I think the Crawdads have really had some good at-bats today. Outside of the 2 strikeouts, Casey Cummings fought a couple times. Matt King hit a ball deep. Ryan Ellis hit the ball pretty hard in his first at-bat.
1-0. Another curveball. This one skips in. Good block by Luke Lavin. 2-0.
And I think really, let's be completely honest, the Crawdads at-bats have not been good recently.
Been bad.
Bad.
Yeah.
And this is a good sign.
Yeah. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Runner in scoring position on second is Ellis. 2-0 fastball catches the inside, a called strike. 2-1. And really, for the Lincoln Potters, their pitching hasn't been great recently. 4.8 ERA, opponents hitting .271. Not a lot of strikeouts, just 19, 26 walks. 2-0 is a fastball hit pretty well down the right field line, a foul ball. So 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think the one thing for Lincoln is they've kept their bullpen pretty fresh over the last week. You don't see a bunch of guys with over 2 or 3 innings. Cooper Robinson, Torrin O'Haron, and Max Manning all had some pretty deep starts where they went 5+ in each of those. So they've been throwing the ball better, at least in the starting rotation. They're hoping to get some length from Schmidt today.
2-2 to Duroff is a slider punched through the right side of the infield. A base hit being held up at third base is Ryan Ellis. The throw comes all the way to the plate, but both runners stay where they are. Back-to-back hits has runners on the corners. 1 out for Cole Fellows.
This is the guy you want at the plate right now. Cole Fellows has been putting up tremendous at-bats recently. He's gone a lot more to the pull side, and I think that should fare well today. If the ball is going to carry to the outfield, it's going to be to the right field side. Cole Fellows right now, though, all he needs to do is a little bit of that old-school Cole Fellows swing. Hit one the other way, keep the rally going, keep the line moving, pass the bat to your cleanup hitter.
So 1 out with runners on first and third. Fellows, the lefty, watches the first pitch, punches it into left field. Incoming is the left fielder, Johnson. He won't get it. He bobbles it. Incoming is Ryan Ellis, and an RBI single for Cole Fellows ties the game at 1 in the third.
Right on cue. Just needs to punch one the other way, get it through the left side, and that's exactly what he did. Ellis had to freeze at third. I don't think it mattered that the ball got past Johnson. I think Ellis is scoring all the way on that one. And now 3 straight hits, all of them hit relatively hard for the Crawdads. They're definitely seeing Craig Schmidt better the second time through.
The 3 straight hits will warrant a meeting on the mound. Luke Lavin was out to talk to the big righty, Craig Schmidt, who up until this inning was working very well. Of course, I mentioned the no-hitter through 2 innings. Small sample, sure. But 3 straight hits after the loud out number 1 from Ryder Helfrich, who flew out all the way to the warning track. Duroff on second, Fellows on first, and Matt King, who's 0 of 1. First pitch curveball swung on and missed. King a big swing at it, but came up empty-handed. Nothing in 1.
Do like that swing, attacking first pitch. He was probably expecting a fastball. I think if he sits back on that a little more, it's a pitch he can drive, and especially because of a lot of his power is the other way.
Nothing in 1 from Schmidt. Another curveball, this one down low for a ball, 1-1. So Helfrich, who flew out to start the inning, swinging on the first pitch. Ellis, who doubled, swinging on the first pitch. Cole Fellows, who singled, all swinging on the first pitch. Matt King did swing, but he missed. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the 1-1. Curveball cued to the right side. First baseman Dom Rodriguez had it behind the back, flip to first, is in time to get Matt King. Both runners do move up 90 feet, so they're second and third with 2 down.
And I think that was actually the second baseman Herrera that made the play. I think it went under the glove of Rodriguez. Herrera, I mean, they kind of did a little magic act there, right? Like going past each other, and it kind of made it look behind the back, but a nice play either way. 4-1 on the putout.
Hitter Tyson Pointer.
It'll bring up Tyson Pointer, who also gave one a ride to center field, but flew out. That ended the first inning. First pitch fastball misses high to him here, 1-0. Game's tied at 1 in the bottom of the third inning. 1 run, 3 hits in this inning for the Crawdads. 1-0 from Schmidt, working out of the stretch as a fastball, lined off the hands, foul. 1-1.
Inside out swing, I think he was just a little late on it. I like the approach there, trying to take it the other way, but just let it travel a little too deep.
Wind still blowing in now from center. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's the 1-1. It's a slider hit hard on the ground to third. Justin Mendocini will tag out Cole Fellows for the third out of the inning. However, on 3 hits, the Crawdads tie the game at 1 in the bottom of the third. When we come back in the top of the 4th inning, Austin Oda will be taking over on the play-by-play.
Top half of the 4th inning from Monte Vista in Danville, California. All knotted at 1, a pitcher's duel through 3 innings. Tyler Blair will be back out for his 4th inning of work, facing 5-6-7 Luke Lavin, Dominic Rodriguez, and Alex Johnson in a game 1 apiece. 1-4-0 runs, hits, errors for the visiting Lincoln Potters. 1-3-1 runs, hits, errors for the Walnut Creek Crawdads. Would like to welcome all Potters fans, all CCL fans. Thanks for tuning into the broadcast. Hope you're enjoying your time here in the divisional round. Left-handed hitting Luke Lavin steps into the box, and the first pitch of the 4th inning from Tyler Blair is a curveball, down and in, 1-0. Luke Lavin struck out on 3 pitches his first at-bat. Took a pitch that was on the inside, was called on the inside. It was probably off the inside.
Probably not a strike.
The 1-0. Lavin takes a curveball, down, 2-0. Checked his swing. Yes, he did, says Matt Bullis over at third. So it's 2-0. Yes, he did check his swing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Not yes, he did go around.
Thought he said he went around.
The 2-0. Tight with a fastball, 3-0. There is some light tossing in the Crawdads bullpen. It looks like Ofi, Owen Firestone, and E.J. McGrew are throwing. Blair, first time today, he's had a 3-0 count. First 3-ball count of the day. Here's the 3-0 right down the middle. Actually, no, that was his first 3-ball count of the day. Wow.
Yeah, he's been good, and we saw it in the Healdsburg game when he went 5, just pounding the zone. And yeah, a couple pitches are way outside and pull yank with the slider, but he's been able to fill it up.
3-1. Tapper to first base. Joey Donnelly's got it in fair territory behind the bag. Trots it to the bag, and there's a big out, number 1.
He's never going to be a guy, I don't think, that's going to strike out a ton of guys, but something about his stuff. The fastball that runs into righties, got a lot of movement. The slider, he can play off that. A good changeup, and he works it down below the knees or at the knees. You're getting a lot of fastballs grounded like that, and sliders weakly hit. It's A lot of weak contact from Tyler Blair.
Here's Dominic Rodriguez, who pummeled a one-out single in his last at-bat. Watches the first pitch fastball, missed just a little high off the outside, 1-0. Back in the second inning, Luke Lavin led off with a single. Nolan Wilson led off with a single, then was moved to second on the Rodriguez single. With 2 outs then, Lewis hit a grounder to third that Max Farfan just threw away and allowed a run to score. This one's popped up behind first base. Joey Donnelly, the first baseman, shading the sun, now in foul territory, will make the catch for the second out.
Really, really good job from Tyler Blair in this inning. The first time to Luke Lavin, got behind 3-0, was able to get an out. Here, falling behind 1-0, getting a pitch in on the hands of Rodriguez. Just can't do anything with that. He's just going to weakly hit it into the ground every single time, just like he did. Or pops up like that, up in the zone. It's just what's going to happen.
I'll bring up Alex Johnson, who popped up to Ryan Ellis back in the second. First pitch to him here is a curveball that drops in at the knees, 0-1. So good job by Blair to get that first pitch strike of the inning. Up to, this will be his 55th pitch, so
it's a good spot.
We'll see. The 0-1. Fastball just a little outside, 1-1.
You know, we don't have a velo miles per hour up here, but it looks like it's staying firm throughout the game, and 65 pitches probably the limit is what we were saying.
The 1-1. Johnson takes a curveball up high, 2-1.
The only thing is, I don't really want anyone in that bullpen to come in with runners on. I think it's better, you know, if they come in with nobody on or just a fresh inning.
2 balls and a strike to the righty Johnson. Blair delivers a curveball tapped to the left side over his Max Farfan behind the bag. Long throw to first. It's in time. A 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Blair sends us to the bottom half of the fourth, all tied, 1 apiece. Joey Donnelly, Max Farfan, Casey Cummings. It's 6-7-8 to hit for the Crawdads here in the fourth game, all knotted at 1 from Monte Vista High School. Craig Schmidt, the big righty, still on the mound for Lincoln, facing the same part of the lineup that he faced back in the second that went down 1-2-3.
Yeah, some uncompetitive at-bats, a couple of strikeouts. Donnelly's wasn't bad, but just watching strike 3 right down the middle the last time.
First pitch to him here is hit high and deep to center field. Lewis sprinting back in front of the warning track, circles up, makes the catch for a loud out number 1.
Man, I think if the wind weren't blowing straight in from center, probably 3-1 Crawdads right now.
Yeah.
2 home runs taken away, I think.
Maybe more than that even.
Yeah, I mean, that one maybe not have gotten out, but Helfrich's, I mean, that I think would have for sure. That still struck well. You know, a hitter is starting to get back to themselves when you're hitting the ball in the air, back up the middle on a line. That was a good swing.
Here's Max Farfan 0-for-1 with a strikeout. Watches his slider slide to the top of the plate, but miss a little high. 1-0. Schmidt works quickly now from the windup. The 1-0 is popped up on the infield, way high, over by the first baseman, Rodriguez, who's an outfielder by trade, and he makes the catch for the second out in foul territory.
Well, 2 quick outs for Casey Schmidt. He's got it going pretty good right now. Besides those 3 straight hits in the 3rd inning, I mean, the Crawdads haven't been able to muster up anything. So he's definitely in a groove right now.
Center fielder.
That'll bring up Casey Cummings facing Craig Schmidt. Cummings lined one softly to short his first time. First pitch here, tapped to the third base side, foul, 0-1. You did say Casey Schmidt,
Craig Schmidt.
Giants third baseman,
Yeah,
Casey
no,
Schmidt.
not.
I was a little confused. I like believed you for a sec. 0-1 slider, just a little tight, 1-1.
A lot of Casey's and, you know, the CS name for some reason. I don't know. It'll always get me.
The 1-1. Cummings flares it foul off to the right, 1-2.
I think I had Casey Cummings in my mind too. Doesn't help me.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch from Schmidt is tight. Comes in and hits Casey Cummings. Looks like it got him on the back. Like to hope. It's a 2-out base runner nonetheless, and some speed on the bases for Walnut Creek.
Hey, this is a guy that you want on base, and yeah, I mean, he would have taken a walk rather than the hit by pitch, but like we said, get runners on any way possible. Hottest hitter coming up.
Here's Ryder Helfrich, 0 for 1, but hit a ball that boomeranged back into the field of play back in the 3rd inning to lead off the 3rd inning. Here is second at bat in 2 innings. A lot of power from the right side, has been swinging it very, very well recently. Hit an absolute mammoth home run in the 9th inning against Sonoma that really just didn't mean anything, but I think had it meant something, I mean, maybe the furthest hit ball of the year. First pitch, Cummings goes. It's a slider right down the middle, throws high, and it's into center field. As Cummings read it late, he doesn't get any read on it. But it's a stolen base for Cummings, the 28th steal of the year for the Crawdads against these Potters.
Yeah, and they haven't been caught really at all. They've been caught stealing 3 times this summer. They run well, and now even in an 0-1 hole, Helfrich, great bat to ball skills. You gotta like this spot.
No balls and a strike. Cummings on second. Schmidt comes home. It's a slider at the knees on the inside. 0-2.
Tough one. Tough pitch to take for a strike. Helfrich, never going to say all that much, but he almost looks like he's looking back into the dugout, motioning. It was low. May have been.
But he's behind 0-2. Schmidt looks to second, now looks back again, and the 0-2. Tight with the curveball, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom 4 all knotted at 1 from Monte Vista. The 1-2 to Cummings. Or to Helfrich, excuse me, has popped foul. We'll do it again. Good thing that ball wasn't put into play, because that would have been, embarrassing.
Yeah, especially if you, hit it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he didn't.
No, and now he gets another life, as do I.
Yeah.
So the baseball gods, hopefully for us, going to double down.
Yeah.
Cummings on second. Jumps off a little further, extends his lead. The 1-2 to Helfrich is nubbed off the end of the bat to the right side. Dom Rodriguez fields it on a couple hops, will jog it to the bag, and it's in time to retire the Crawdads in the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors. A runner left on second after the hit by pitch and steal will head top 5. Still a 1-1 ball game. top 5 in a pitcher's duel, all knotted at 1. It'll be Jordan Lewis, J.J. Menacini, and Zach Chamizo. It's 8-9-1 to hit for Lincoln in the 5th. Still Tyler Blair on the mound, though. E.J. McGrew looks like he's just about ready. Jordan Lewis at the dish. He's 0 for 1, reached on an error by Max Farfan his first time. Watches a slider this time. Miss off the outside for ball 1.
Yeah, interested to see that McGrew working out of the windup. The pitches look firm right now.
1-0. Slider down and away, 2-0. You could assume maybe, I know we don't love it, but maybe a base runner gets Blair out of this ballgame.
That's about what I was thinking.
2-0. Lewis taps it to third, foul. Definitely did Tyler Blair a little favor there. Would have been a ball, would have been ball 3.
Yeah, anything that's a strike is great, especially with the end of the road near for Tyler Blair. I think that's pretty obvious with McGrew. I mean, he's throwing curveballs and stuff, so I think he's pretty much good.
2-1 is way outside with the curveball, 3-1.
Maybe runner on second base, McGrew comes in. I think that's usually a good, or a spot that Deli likes to go to there, but I don't know.
3-1 to Lewis. Outside ball 4. Just a little outside with the fastball. It's the second time Lewis has reached. He still doesn't have a hit today, and the leadoff runner is on for the first time since the second. Looks like Blair's gonna stay in this game for the bottom of the order. J.J. Menacini hit a ground ball to Ryan Ellis' last time, so I think maybe the thought here is see him twice. Don't let him see the third time through the windup, no matter what.
Yeah. I actually, this might be a last batter scenario for TB. I think he's probably feeling pretty good. He said yesterday he was feeling good, so.
First pitch to Menacini, squares the bunt, but takes right down the middle with the fastball. 0-1. I mean, the Crawdads would take a bunt here, as long as they get an out of the situation.
Getting out, yeah. This early in the game, I mean, the bats have been struggling for the Crawdads, yes, but you still trust them to come around eventually and score more than 1 or 2 runs.
The 0-1. Just a little high. It looked like the changeup, 1-1.
I mean, we saw how bunting worked out for the Crawdads against the Stompers. They gave away an out, and what'd they get out of it?
Nothing. Blair sets at the belt. Now the 1-1 to Menacini. Squares to bunt again and misses. 1-2.
That's something that just can't happen.
Yeah.
Bunting a fastball down the middle. It looked like he was almost trying to bunt for a hit, but squared early because he was almost out of the box as soon as he squared it. Interesting, but you got to get it down. If you're going to bunt, got to get it down.
Gives Blair a free 2 strikes. Here's the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch to Menacini. From the stretch, the 1-2 is popped up. Back of the infield, Matt King drifts back over his right shoulder. Shades the sun, makes the catch just on the outfield grass for the first out.
Just feels like a wasted at-bat for Justin Menacini right there. 2 bunts. I mean, on 2 pitches right down the middle. Right, Menacini has been good this summer, 5 for 13 going into that at-bat. Interesting.
Interesting to me that the Crawdads are leaving Tyler Blair out to face the lefty, Chamizo. Third time Chamizo has seen Tyler Blair today. He's 1 for 2. Lefty Chamizo against the righty Blair. Pickoff move. It's high, but Donnelly's able to dig it out. On the year, E.J. McGrew has been very good against lefties. They're hitting .235 against him. But really on the other end, Tyler Blair just hitting .208. So I think I still would have preferred McGrew in this spot, but hey, we'll see what Blair can do. Another pickoff move. He's back in safely again is Lewis.
Yeah, and the last time out against the Potters for McGrew, he was really, really good. Fastball up to 89. The slider looked great. That was in Lincoln.
First pitch to Chamizo. Ground ball to second base could be 2. Ellis will go to second 1. King back to first in time. Double play. Tyler Blair completes 5 innings of 1-run ball and keeps the Crawdads and Potters tied at 1 as we head bottom 5 here at Monte Vista. After Tyler Blair goes 5 innings of just 1-run ball, the Crawdads will try to give him a little more momentum on the offensive side with the top of their lineup hitting for the 3rd time against Craig Schmidt. It's Ryan Ellis, Brian Duroff, Cole Fellows. It's win or go home here at Monte Vista. The 2-seed Crawdads, the 3-seed Potters.
Yeah, not sure. I kind of like the format, Better win.
Yeah, no kidding. Ryan Ellis doubled to left center field his last time. He's 1 for 2. He's hit a couple balls pretty hard. First pitch from Schmidt is a curveball on the outside at the knees, 0-1.
It's been a while since the Crawdads won a playoff game, right? 2014. Long time. I was 11.
Wow.
I'm 19.
0-1. Slider outside, 1-1. That's a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
I mean that's the Giants' last World Series.
Yeah.
The 1-1. Curveball a little high and tight, 2-1.
What were you doing in 2014?
I don't even remember, man.
Yeah.
2-1. Ellis grounds it to second base on a couple hops. Pat Herrera will scoop, gather, throw to first to retire Ellis.
Just pounding that one straight into the ground. Not a bad swing from Ellis. Hit it pretty hard. He's been, I think, the quality of contact is starting to kind of come back for Ryan Ellis. We're starting to see him hit the ball a little harder. He grounded out to the second baseman against the Stompers for out number 1 of the top of the 9th inning in that last game, and he hit it very hard.
Yeah.
And that one there hit still very hard. So quality contact on its way back for Ellis. Good sign.
Here's Brian Duroff, who's 1 for 1, also got hit by a pitch. Here he hits one high and deep left center field. Lewis going back at the wall, at the track. He looks up, it's gone! Brian Duroff against the win hits his 5th home run of the season, and the Crawdads take a 2-1 lead here in the wild card round.
Wind doesn't matter when you're as strong as Brian Duroff. What a swing. Wasting no time, huh? First pitch swinging, straight back up the middle, straight away center. See you later.
The sweet, sweet swing of Brian Duroff. We hear sweet swinging lefty all the time. Brian Duroff
Sweet swinging righty.
has one of the prettiest right-handed swings I've seen at the college level.
Absolutely.
Here's Cole Fellows, who's 1 for 1 with a walk. Here he takes a fastball on the outside corner. Called a strike. Looked a little out, but it's 0-1.
Talk about sweet swings. Cole
This
Fellows.
guy.
Yeah.
The 0-1. Fellows watches a curveball drop to the outside at the knees, 0-2.
It's 2 tough pitches right there. I mean, probably just a little off the black, called strike, down in the count.
0-2. Just a little away with the fastball. Good spot by Schmidt.
I really like that. You get those 2 calls that are a little bit off the plate. Get ahead, 0-2. Keep going out there. Keep, little by little extending off the plate. See how much you can get. This one, just a little outside.
The 1-2. Down and away, 2-2. For the Crawdads right now, it's add-on. Because the Crawdads have been good on the mound, but they have not been good at closing out games. The 2-2. Fellows lines this one to third, and a leaping snag by Menacini as he goes to the backhand side for the second out.
That's unfortunate. Hit on the screws, slicing, and Menacini almost just right at him. Unnecessary jump, almost like a protect your face jump. Unfortunate out number 2.
Here's Matt King, who is 0 for 2, flew out relatively deep to left and grounded out to second. First pitch to him here is a fastball just below the knees, 1-0. Crawdads and Potters in an elimination game. The 1-0. King grounds it up the middle. Over to get it is Shimizu behind the second base bag. He fumbles it, throws to first. It's not in time. King will reach on the error.
Yep, just the good old-fashioned boot. In and out of the glove. It was not hit that hard. Did have to go a little bit to his left, but still a play that I think should be made. Luke Auden, former Potter shortstop, probably
Makes that play every single time. Yeah, Luke Auden, one of the smoother defenders we've seen.
No longer on the roster.
Here is Tyson Pointer. Pointer 0 for 2. Grounded out to the third baseman and also flew out deep to center field. First pitch to him here is a fastball at the knees on the outside, 0-1.
Nothing better after the error than strike 1. If you're Craig Schmidt, think you should be out of this inning. Probably should. Just get ahead, keep working.
The 0-1. Pointer waves at a slider and misses, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 5th. Crawdads and Potters. King a short lead off first. Now extends the 0-2. Pointer hits it high and deep to center field. Lewis going back at the warning track. He will reach down and make the catch as Pointer just clobbered that ball to center field, but it was right at Jordan Lewis. The Crawdads, though, take their first lead of the day on Brian Duroff's solo shot. They lead 2-1 after 5. Top half of the 6th inning, and we've got a pitching change. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by NorCal Oaks. NorCal Oaks is a nonprofit organization dedicated to developing skilled players who want to excel in the game of baseball and softball while attaining strong character and life skills in a fun and positive environment. It's the lefty, E.J. McGrew.
E.J. McGrew, 3-0 win-loss, 4.39 ERA, making his 11th appearance of the summer. 26 2/3 innings, only 18 strikeouts, 18 walks, 22 hits. The whip at 1.17. Coming off an outing against the Stompers where he went 4 innings, gave up 2 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, a couple of strikeouts. He was good, worked out of a lot of traffic. You look back to July 23rd, he threw an inning against these Lincoln Potters in a 1-3 Crawdad loss. He gave up a hit, 2 strikeouts. That fastball we've seen tick up in velocity. The fastball, changeup, slider. If he can command, he's going to be pretty dominant.
He'll be facing Austin Menacini, Pat Herrera, Nolan Wilson. The final line on Tyler Blair, he was just amazing. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, none earned, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Needed it. First pitch to Menacini is a slider, just a little low, 1-0. McGrew, we've talked about it all year. As with most of these guys, when he throws strikes, he's almost unhittable. 1-0, fastball, a little low, 2-0.
Yeah, that whip at 1.71. You see that around 1.3, 1.2. You're going to be seeing a lot more success.
2-0. Ground ball to short. Backing up is Matt King. Gets a high hop on the backhand. Will throw to first and retire Menacini.
Nice start after a couple of straight balls. Compete back into the zone. And just get a weak ground ball. Fastball, a lot of arm side run from McGrew. That's what's going to happen.
1 out for Patrick Herrera. McGrew, the lefty, from the windup, delivers a fastball down and away, 1-0. Awesome to see as many people as there are at Monte Vista right now.
Yeah, the last few games, it's been a packed house. Yeah.
The 1-0. Curveball on the outside, called a little high, 2-0.
Also awesome to see all the people listening. Yeah. It's awesome.
2-0 from McGrew. Ground ball to the left side. Max Farfan snags it on 2 hops. Will throw over to first, and Donnelly is able to pull it down on the left side of the bag for the 2nd out.
Yeah, good job by Farfan there. It had a lot of top spin on it, hit pretty hard, and the grass kind of killed all of the velocity. Does a good job, scoop it up. The throw a little bit wild, so got to clean that up. Good job by Donnelly, keeping the foot on the bag. Nice, good stretch, and retire Herrera by a good 5 feet.
That'll bring up Nolan Wilson, who's 1 for 2, a single and a ground out. First pitch here, drops to the outside corner. Looked like the slider, nothing in one. EJ, a 3.5 pitch guy. I think fastball, changeup, and then he has 2 variations to the slider that we've seen. The 0-1. Ground ball to third. Max Farfan will pick up the 26 hopper, double clutch, throw to first, and a really nice inning from EJ McGrew. 1-2-3 with a trio of ground outs. Sends us to the bottom of the 6th. Crawdads lead it 2-1. Bottom of the 6th inning, and after the Crawdads made a pitching change, the Potters will bring in a lefty of their own. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by NorCal Oaks. NorCal Oaks is a nonprofit organization dedicated to developing skilled players who want to excel in the game of baseball and softball while attaining strong character and life skills in a fun and positive environment. It's the lefty out of Larkspur, California, Max Manning.
1-0, 7.88 ERA, 8th appearance of the summer, 16 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, 9 walks. And to that point, you're like, okay, he's pretty good. And then the 26 hits. That's been the problem, 2.55 whip. However, for what it's worth, in the CCL non-league, made 2 appearances, one of them a start, 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, 3 walks, 4 hits, 1.80 ERA. So potential may be there, but has struggled this summer.
And he's a guy that's been solid at the Division I level out of UC Davis. And, you know, you look at those non-league stats, and often with non-league you think, okay, it's just non-league. What does it mean, right? We see a lot of West Coast Kings, Alameda Anchors. Side note, shout out to the Anchors for winning the BACL championship.
Congrats.
But Max Manning, an outing against the Medford Rogues. That's a really, really good non-league team. He went 4 innings of 1-run ball in that one. So he's a guy with a lot of talent, a guy that has, you know, been solid at the in the college level from Marin Catholic, so a former teammate of Cody Perry.
He's a two-way guy.
Yeah.
1 for 2 this summer.
Yeah, and that's like a legit two-way. Like we've seen him like get pinch hit appearances and pinch run. He's just a really good athlete.
Yeah.
They'll be facing Joey Donnelly, Max Farfan, and Casey Cummings. Final line for Craig Schmidt. He was very good. 5 innings, 2 runs. Both of them were earned 4 hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts. So pretty similar to Tyler Blair. Lefty on lefty, first pitch to Joey Donnelly is lined over the first baseman's head, but it's foul. 0-1.
Love that. Aggressive first pitch swinging on the heater. Lefty, lefty, doesn't matter. And, well, it was hooking. It wasn't foul by that much. A couple of feet.
No balls and a strike. Manning the lefty, Donnelly the lefty. Manning sets past the belt, and the 0-1 is a slider on the outside, 0-2. Manning, I think, is a 2-slot guy, because I've seen him go from that low 3/4, but I also in warm-up saw him go like legit sidearm.
It's a tough at-bat for any lefty.
The 0-2 swung on and missed. Man, nasty slider off the outside edge. First batter, first strikeout for Matt Manning.
Uno, dos, adios. 3 pitches, the strikeout, and just he dominated Joey Donnelly right there.
And it's unfair because Donnelly's the first pitch Donnelly saw.
Yeah, exactly. Tough game.
Here's Max Farfan, who's 0 for 2. Really has gone cold recently after a very, very hot stretch. Had a big home run against Chris Stamos that knocked him out of the game when the Crawdads played Healdsburg. First pitch to him here is grounded through the left side. That's a base knock for Max Farfan. Right on cue.
Hey, not trying to do too much. Farfan not really going to go the opposite field all that much. Going to be a pull hitter, especially with the lefty. It's not exactly throwing 95 miles an hour, and just getting it through the left side of that infield. Good swing, on with one out. Casey Cummings, chance to get hot. It's been a while since I've seen Casey Cummings with a base hit.
Case is 0 for 1 today. Lined one softly to Shimizu and then got hit by a pitch in his last at bat. Bats here with Farfan on first, 1 out. 1 run Crawdads lead. First pitch from Manning to Cummings is tapped over by the third base coaching box, and it'll go all the way to the Potters dugout, 0-1. Max Manning's mom commented on one of our posts yesterday asking about ticket information today.
It's free.
It is free.
Come out.
Come out. Enjoy the game. Say hi. 0-1. Cummings taps it straight back off of Ron Adams behind the plate, 0-2.
Oh.
Ouch.
Yeah, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah, big ouch. He's good. He's up. Ron is a fighter.
Ron and the Matt.
Maddie and the Rons.
Maddie and the
I
Rons.
think I like Maddie and the
I
Rons.
like
Matt Bullis, Ron McGath, Ron Adams.
Not Stanky and the Ron.
No, but what is? The 0-2 to Cummings is tapped foul again. Did that get him again?
I think it got him again.
Oh, man.
Cruel game.
Yeah. Ouch. Ouch back.
Ouch bag. Yeah, there you go.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Manning sets at the belt. The 0-2 again to Casey Cummings. He looks to first, now nods his head. Taking a long time. Now the 0-2. Hit high to left field. Shallow coming in is Johnson. It's going to bounce past him and all the way to the wall. Going from second to third is Farfan as he's going to be held up at third. It's a single and an error by the left fielder, and that's a good sign from Casey Cummings.
Yeah, he's been hitting the ball hard a few times in the last couple of days. Welcome back, Casey. First hit since, what, July 16th? Yeah, been a while. And yes, the injuries, but always good to see him swinging the bat well. And that's just a tough one from Alex Johnson. Like, yeah, a base hit, so what? But don't try to do too much. Keep it in front. Don't be a hero. You have runners on first and second. 1 out. You can still get a ground ball, get out of the inning. Now, runners on second and third, 1 out. Ground ball scores a run. So that's a really, really, really costly error.
And the Crawdads' hottest and maybe best hitter at the plate right now. Ryder Helfrich, though he's 0 for 2 today, hit a ball about 110 miles an hour to center field in his first at bat. And I think with the wind dying down a little bit, if he does that again, Crawdads would take a bigger lead. There's going to be an appeal throw to second. Safe. Officially. Yeah.
All right.
Max Farfan touched second. Congrats to Max.
Oh.
Now JP Peters is going to head over to the third base coaching box and chat it up with the umpires. This is normally a time we would take a look around the CCL, but there's no other games to look at. So maybe we can talk about the playoffs a little bit.
We can talk about the playoffs.
What did you want to trade?
I mean, you know, the masterclass that AJ Preller put on in the MLB trade deadline, but you know what?
CCL. Bronze.
CCL.
Yeah, let's lock in, bud.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So tonight at 7 p.m., OC, the Orange County Riptide, and the Conejo Oaks will play.
Okay.
That one will be hosted by OC. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't think OC is the actual host location because they couldn't get a field this late in the season, from what I've heard. So they're still trying to figure out that whole hosting situation. Conejo, I have no idea. I could be completely wrong about that one.
Wow.
That one will be at 7 tonight. The winner of that game will play the 1 seed Arroyo Seco Saints. The winner of this game will play the 1 seed tomorrow, the Healdsburg Prune Packers. Here, runners on second and third. 1 out for Ryder Helfrich. Lefty Manning, righty Helfrich. First pitch is down and away with a fastball, 1-0.
Being in the playoffs is awesome, but I think the Crawdads are frustrated because they very, very easily could have had today off. And I think that's frustrating.
The 1-0. Helfrich taps it foul, 1-1. But you know what? Brent Cummings asked me near the end of the year, do you have any speeches in you? And I said, I don't think they want to hear from me, but I think if I had a couple words to say to the Crawdads, this game is to play more Mafia.
Hey, there you go.
Win today, play some more Mafia tomorrow.
There you go.
The 1-1. Helfrich blasted down the left field line, but well foul. For some context, this Crawdads team plays more Mafia on the bus than any other team I've ever met.
It's instant. And the bus turns on, the bus starts, and they're going.
Infield's going to come in for the 1-2 to Helfrich. Cummings gets a huge lead off second. Now the 1-2 to Helfrich is hit high and deep. Left field, Johnson going back. He will look up. It is off the bottom of the wall on a hop. Farfan comes home to score. Here comes Casey Cummings around for the plate. Shimizo's throw to the plate is not in time. It's 4-1 Crawdads.
Yeah, Ryder. Get in on the action, huh? Home run taken away from the wind. Here over everyone's head. Deepest part of the arc to left center field. Great swing from Ryder. He's starting to elevate. Watch out.
You know, on any other day with less wind, he probably has 2 home runs today.
Yeah.
I think he'll take the double.
Absolutely. 4-1 now. It's you got to keep extending because we've seen the Potters at Monte Vista score a lot of runs very late, so keep adding on.
Here's Ryan Ellis, who's 1 for 3 with a double and a ground out and a fly out today. Bats here, runner on second, 1 out. Helfrich a ton of speed over at second base. First pitch to Ellis is a fastball that misses down and away, 1-0. After 2 runs were scored combined through the first 4.5 innings, now 3 in the last 2 for the Crawdads. 1-0, Ellis pops it foul, back behind the plate, 1-1.
And for those wondering what Mafia is, because my father just texted me, it's a campfire game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to play it. I don't understand the rules.
People are assigned different roles. Each of the roles have some, different things, different tasks that they have to do regarding other people in the group.
Yeah.
I think that's about as far as we'll get into it.
Yeah.
1-1. Ellis taps it foul off to the left in the air, 1-2.
I just wanted to, clarify.
Yeah, I just realized it's,
It sounds kind of bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not bad.
No. For context, they played it at Coach Cummings' neighbor's house with many adults present.
Yeah. Family friendly.
The 1-2 from the lefty Manning. He looks to second. A lot of movement with his head. Now the 1-2 is way outside, gets past the catcher Lavin all the way to the backstop. Helfrich will ease his way to third on the wild pitch.
Yeah, good job reading that ball down. I mean, Helfrich was pretty much taking off the second he saw that ball in the dirt. Lavin just didn't slide over and block it. Put that glove out and never got that body behind his glove.
Infield's going to come in again. A 2-ball, 2-strike count to the dangerous Ryan Ellis. Menacini, Shimizo, Herrera, Rodriguez, your infield left to right. The runner on third, the 2-2. Ellis pops it shallow, left field. Johnson drifted back, now is coming in and towards the line, makes the catch. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is way offline. Helfrich will score, and the Crawdads take a 5-1 lead.
That's just a classic example of not trying to do too much, and great speed from Ryder Helfrich on third. Creates a wild throw, no stress to the plate, 5-1 Crawdads lead. These are the bats that we know and love.
3 runs have come home to score this inning for Walnut Creek, and here's Brian DeRoff, who gave the Crawdads the lead in his last at-bat, hit a solo shot to left center field. 2 for 2 today is Brian. The guy that has gone red hot. While the rest of the bats have gone ice cold, Brian has flipped that script. First pitch to him here. Taken up high, 1-0.
Yeah, Duroff has been fun. Everything's been on line. We're talking with Kobe pregame. Everything's on a line in the left field, putting a lot of good swings on right now.
The 1-0. Duroff taps this one slowly to third on 2 big hops. Menacini backhands, throws low to first, and it's not dug out by the first baseman, Rodriguez. It'll be an error. Not sure on who. Probably on
E5.
Menacini for the low throw.
Yep.
But a 2-out error extends the inning.
Just a bad error. Second of the inning. That's the one that hurts right there. Easy ground ball as a pitcher. that ball is made contact with and you almost relieve, then there's no reason for that to be thrown low.
Here's Cole Fellows, left on left. Fellows has had a really good day today. First pitch to him here is grounded to the left side, foul, 0-1. Fellows 1 for 2, lined out to the third baseman Menacini as last time, also singled home a run and walked. So really another good day. The 1-1. Fellows lines it straight back, 0-2.
Time to protect. You want to keep this inning going. When the bats are hot, they're hot. Hitting is contagious. We've said it. It's well known. Keep it going. Keep that line moving.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 3 runs home in the inning for the Crawdads. 5-1 they lead, bottom of the 6th. Manning brings the set to the belt. A long hold. Now the 0-2. Slider way away. 1-2. This upcoming pitch for Manning will be his 22nd.
It's a lot. 1 inning, that's a lot.
The 1-2. Fellows taps it up the middle. Shimizo behind the second base bag. Fields the high hop. Throws high to first, but Rodriguez is able to bring it down to the chest for the 3rd out. But the Crawdads score 3 times on 3 hits, a pair of errors. They leave a runner stranded. Well, at top 7, the final third of the game is all Carson Mercier. When we come back, Crawdads lead it 5-1.
Top of the 7th inning at Monte Vista High School. It's the wild card round between the Crawdads and Potters. Crawdads lead 5-1 as we head into the top of the 5th. E.J. McGrew back to work for his 2nd inning of relief. He'll be facing the lefty Luke Lavin, Dom Rodriguez, and Alex Johnson. McGrew, the lefty, works from the windup. Here's the first pitch of the inning. It's fastball lined into right center field. Going back is Casey Cummings. It's going to split the gap. Cutting it off on one hop is Brian Duroff. Here's the throw to second base. It's just a little late. So on the first pitch of the 7th inning, Luke Lavin goes to right center field. He's on second base.
Yeah, Luke Lavin's been good against these Crawdads this whole year. Came into the game 6 of 22 with a double. Here he just pounds the first pitch he sees to right center field. Got it to drop in the gap. And a really good start to try to bounce back for Lincoln.
Crawdads scored 3 runs in the home half of the 6th inning to put them up 5-1. A couple of costly errors came back to bite the Potters. However, like you said, a nice start to the top of the 7th inning. Double by Luke Lavin will bring up Dom Rodriguez, who's 1 of 2. Singled in the 2nd inning and popped up in foul ground to Donnelly in the 4th. First pitch slider is in the dirt, a ball, 1-0 to Dom Rodriguez. So in that first inning for E.J. McGrew, worked a 1-2-3 on just 8 pitches. Well, you already get the feeling that it's going to be a little bit different of an inning for him here in the top of the 7th. 1-0 to the first baseman, a curveball, little bit outside, 2 balls and no strikes. His last start against the Stompers, which came on Friday night, saw a lot of, a lot of innings like this, a lot of traffic, a lot of early traffic. He was able to work out of it. Going to need that here. Up 4 runs. Here's the 2-0. Fastball way high. 3 balls, no strikes to Dom Rodriguez.
And for complete transparency, I don't hate a walk here.
No.
Bottom of the lineup has really struggled today.
Yeah.
Rodriguez hit 1 ball very hard and then popped up his last time in foul territory, but definitely would rather face the next 3 than this guy.
Here's the 3-0. Fastball fouled off. So the count goes 3 balls and a strike.
You know, I've had a lot of fun watching this Lincoln team this year. I think the one flaw that they have is too many pointless swings on 3-0.
Yeah, I actually agree. I mean, it does seem like, why? You know, the Crawdads, have swung 4 times this year on a 3-0
I think
count?
twice.
It's not a lot. Here's the 3-1 from McGrew. Slider called a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Rodriguez was getting ready to toss the bat towards the third base dugout, but he'll have to hold on as the count goes full.
I don't understand a 3-0 swing at all. Especially, it's not like McGrew's going to blow you away.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. It's a broken bat grounder to Farfan at third. He takes a look to second, goes to first for the out. So the 5-3 put out keeps Lavin on second base. It's out number 1 in the 7th.
You know, we can talk all we want about the swing decisions by Rodriguez, but a really nice job by EJ McGrew to bear down after falling behind 3-0.
That's a rough at bat for Rodriguez.
Is some throwing in the Crawdads bullpen. Jackson Howell, Owen Firestone just tossing with each other a little bit. Howie, I thought, looked really, I know it was one batter, and there's not a ton we can take, but I thought looked really, really good in that one batter.
Here's Alex Johnson, the left fielder, with a runner on second, 1 out in the top of the 7th. Lefty McGrew delivers a slider. It's lined into center field. Coming in is Cummings. He will make the catch for the second out. Throw is into the cutoff man, Ellis, and back to the second base bag is Luke Lavin. So a hard-struck line out for Alex Johnson, but there's 2 down.
And it looked like Johnson was just a little out in front of it. Got a first pitch off-speed pitch. Hit it hard just by pure strength, but really was way out in front on that one.
That'll bring up Jordan Lewis, who has reached base safely twice so far today. Reached on the Max Farfan error in the 2nd and then walked in the 5th. First pitch to him here, maybe a touch outside, 1-0. Crawdads lead 5-1 in the top of the 7th inning. Lavin led off the top of the 7th with a double. He is still there. 1-0 from McGrew. Slider in the dirt, blocked by the catcher, Ryder Helfrich. Count goes 2-0. 1 run, 5 hits, 3 errors for the Potters. 5-7-1 for the Crawdads. Action in the Potters bullpen. It's a righty. Here's the 2-0. Slider swung on and missed. Lewis went chasing on a pitch that, well, wasn't a strike.
Again, no reason to really swing in that situation unless it's right down the middle. Maybe we should give more credit to McGrew. You know, that one probably started like looking like it was right down the middle.
Here's the 2-1 from EJ. It's a fastball swung on and missed. Gets by Ryder Helfrich into the backstop. Moving up 90 feet and into third base is Luke Lavin. Count does go 2-2. Got to think that's going to be a pass ball.
Ooh, I thought wild pitch. What do you think? I thought wild pitch. It was not close to a strike. It was a ball, a spiked fastball. Tried to backhand it. Pass ball, wild pitch. Yeah. Really? Okay.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner on third. Curveball taken just outside for a ball. That'll fill it up. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Close. Could have been called the other way.
Thought it was.
Like the spot.
McGrew trying to strand the leadoff double. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It's taken, strike 3. So a leadoff double for Luke Lavin in the 7th. He gets to third, but he does not score. We're going bottom 7th inning. It's time to stretch at Monte Vista High School with the Crawdads up 5-1. Bottom of the 7th inning, Potters are making a change. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by NorCal Oaks. The NorCal Oaks is a nonprofit organization dedicated to developing skilled players who want to excel in the game of baseball and softball while attaining strong character and life skills in a fun and positive environment. It's the right-hander, big, tall Devin Martin.
Devin Martin's been very solid this summer, righty out of Northridge, California. He is 0-0 this summer, a 4.91 ERA, but he's thrown a lot. 17 games played. He has 18 in the third innings pitched, 22 strikeouts, that's great. 22 walks, not as great. 15 hits, his whip up above 2 on the summer. Last time he faced the Crawdads, he went an inning and a third, gave up a pair of runs, a pair of hits, no walks, no strikeouts. That was in the game of all games that was back on July 22nd, the 4-hour game.
He'll be facing 4, 5, and 6 for the Crawdads in the bottom of the 7th, with the Crawdads up 5-1. Matt King, Tyson Pointer, and Joey Donnelly. They've been held fairly quiet to this point today, but definitely a tough task for any pitcher coming in and trying to really hold the game where it is. Martin relieves Max Manning, who went an inning, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, no walks, and a strikeout. Started well for Max Manning. Struck out Joey Donnelly, the first batter he faced, and, well, the wheels kind of fell off from there. Here's Matt King. He's 0 for 3, reached on an error in his last at-bat. First pitch fastball, a firm fastball, and this is below the zone, 1-0. Martin exclusively out of the stretch. Here's the 1-0. Fastball lined off the hands into left field, a base hit. Leadoff single for Matt King, and it gets by Alex Johnson in left field. Taking off for second is Matt King. He slides in safely. So a single and an E7, the second E7 by Alex Johnson, and Matt King's on second base to lead off the inning.
I mean, that's massive. That is so big for the Crawdads. Runner on first, you have the potential to get a double play ball, but there, I mean, Johnson just played a poor left field today. I don't think there's any other way around it. He's had a couple bad routes to balls that he's ended up catching. Obviously, he had the play in the last inning that got by him. He had the throw to the plate that wasn't marked as an error, but got past the catcher. It's been a tough day for him.
It'll bring up Tyson Pointer, the designated hitter, who's 0 for 3, but has smashed the ball to center field twice. First pitch here, he squares the bunt, pulls back, takes a ball, 1-0. So bunting here again. He was bunting in the 8th inning against the Stompers, and really a mistake.
Yeah, that one ended up hurting.
1-0. Fastball hit into center field, not very hard. Charging in is Jordan Lewis. He has a beat on it. He makes the catch for the first out. So for the third time today, Tyson Pointer has the F8 next to his name.
Not happy about it.
Not at all. You could hear him. He said, "Dang it."
First baseman Joey Donnelly.
Here's Joey Donnelly with the runner on second base. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch to Donnelly is a changeup popped up foul, 0-1. Donnelly is 0 for 3, strikeout, looking, strikeout, swinging, and he's also flown out to center field. Martin set. Here's the 0-1. Change up off the outside in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. King led off the inning with a single, was able to reach second base on the E7. Pointer flew out to center. Sorry. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. King awaits on second. The righty Martin, a long hold, now the 1-1. Fastball tapped right back to him. King taking off for third, he'll get there. Martin doesn't even look to third. He goes with the underhand flip to first, and there's 2 away.
Kind of wish those last 2 batters were in reverse order. The ground out by Donnelly that moved King to third, and then the fly out would have been a productive out, but still, it's a productive out. Your runner moves to third for Max Farfan, who had a nice at bat his last time.
Third baseman Max Farfan.
Max Farfan, 1 of 3. Scored a run. He struck out, popped up in foul ground. That single and the last E7 by Alex Johnson moved him up a base to third, which allowed him to come home to score. First pitch fastball here is a strike, 0-1 to Farf.
No action in the Crawdad. No action in either bullpen right now. I think EJ's probably going to go out for at least one more. They would love to
Why not?
only use 2 pitchers today.
Why not? Here's the 0-1. Curveball in there for a strike. Nothing in 2. McGrew's been great so far. Martin, you know, when you really think about it, maybe a runner on second base, not third, without that error out in the left. Here's the 0-2 fastball. Eye level, called a ball. 1-2.
Farfan, I think, you know, we talked early in the year when Farfan and Pointer were struggling together. If one of the two could get going. Now Farfan gets going, this whole lineup could be hitting.
1-2. Slider popped up on the infield, but in foul ground. Moving over is the first baseman, Dom Rodriguez. In foul ground with 2 hands, is able to reach up and make the catch. For out number 3. So the Crawdads get a hit. They leave a runner in scoring position. No runs. They lead 5-1. We're going top 8.
No runs on a hit for
Crawdads are 6 outs away from their first playoff victory since 2014. EJ McGrew back to work his 3rd inning in relief. First pitch to Justin Menacini is a ball, 1-0. Top of the 8th inning, Crawdads lead 5-1. The 1-0, a slider, called a strike. Big strike zone.
I love Ron Adams.
Trying to keep that pace moving.
Very quick ball game to this point.
It's felt very fast. Game started at 4. 1-1, slider on the back door, called strike 1-2.
Love that from EJ. Went on the inside at the knees, backdoored him, then went front door. I mean, that's just, yeah, I love it.
In, out, up, down. Here's the 1-2. Slider, line drive, right field, sending Duroff in. Now going back a little bit. With one hand, he reaches up to make the catch for the first out.
I know that, you know, that wasn't the most difficult play, but I feel like we do have to talk about how much improvement we've seen from Brian Duroff in right field. Because at the start of the year, he was poor out there. Like, he was not a good defensive outfielder, but he's turned himself into above average. He's got a cannon of an arm in right field. It's been very fun to watch.
A great turnaround, because the start of the year was rough as Shimizu steps in, swings at the first pitch, skies it into left field. Left fielder Fellow started back, now is racing in. He makes the catch for the second out. 2 up, 2 down in the 8th.
EJ's feeling it. This is the best EJ has looked all year. They're hitting the roll call right now.
It's late for a roll call, but I wonder if we're going to get our roll call today.
We've been waiting for it.
We have. They said we were going to get it in Sonoma. Never happened.
Well, I mean, we also lost both games in Sonoma. I
That
feel like
is
you can't be doing it when you're down.
Here's Austin Menacini, 1 of 3 today. First pitch from the lefty, fastball on the outside, a called strike, 0-1. Beautifully placed fastball from EJ McGrew.
Can't ask for a better spot on the first pitch.
No balls and 1 strike. Here it comes from the windup, way high, 1-1.
Here's one thing I'll tell you about this Crawdads team is they want to win. They really, really want to. And yeah, you think, okay, every team wants to win. Not in summer ball.
1-1. Slider swung on and missed. It was a slider down by the shoe tops. Got him chasing 1-2.
Beautiful, beautiful pitch. But yeah, summer ball teams don't want to win like this. This team loves each other. They want to play every game that they can with each other.
McGrew trying to work 3 scoreless innings in relief. Here's the 1-2. Tapped left side, foul outside of third. We'll do it again.
Yeah, I have no clue how Mendocini dug that ball out.
No.
Beautiful changeup that dropped off the inside. Good run on it.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, one more time. Here it comes from the lefty. Fastball popped out of play, so we'll do it again.
EJ also just picked a ball like a first baseman. Ryder had a little bit of a lazy toss back.
Do it all.
EJ played first in high school. You should see that kid's hitting stats.
Bring him up.
Tank.
A deep breath. Now the 1-2 fastball in the dirt. A called ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Went to St. Mary's High School in Albany. Give me a second.
I'll wait patiently. 2-2. Here it comes. Slider. Chopped left side. King charging, but it's Farfan with the bare hand to first in time. Max Farfan completes the 1-2-3 8th inning for EJ McGrew. He has worked 3 straight scoreless innings. We're going bottom 8 with the Crawdads up 5-1. Casey Cummings, Ryder Helfrich, and Ryan Ellis. 8-9-1 for the Crawdads here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They lead 5-1 over the Lincoln Potters. They're looking to secure their first playoff victory since 2014 and their first under the helm of head coach Brant Cummings. Devin Martin, the righty, back to work to face the bottom of the Crawdad order. First pitch to Casey, fastball, blew it past him, 0-1. Martin was able to work around a leadoff single from Matt King back in the 7th inning. Got a couple of flyouts. Here to Cummings is a changeup this time. Swung on and missed, 0-2.
Good job to get ahead by Martin. Staying ahead.
Wind starting to pick up a little bit more now from center field. Here's the 0-2 from Martin. It's a fastball hit pretty deep. Left field, Alex Johnson going back. He will look it off the top of the wall. Cummings to second base. Throw goes there. It's late. And a leadoff double for Casey Cummings. 2 hits in his last 2 at-bats. Welcome back.
If Casey Cummings starts swinging the bat at the bottom of the order, this Crawdads team is unstoppable. That is a beautiful swing from Casey.
It'll bring up Ryder Helfrich, who has 2 RBIs, a double. He scored a run. And, well, without the wind, he could have a home run, too.
Could have 2 home runs.
He'll bat with nobody out in the bottom of the 8th, and Casey Cummings with a lot of speed on second base, trying to extend their 5-1 lead. First pitch from Martin, curveball drops in, a strike, 0-1. Crawdads offense has 9 hits today, seemingly coming alive after really a week in which they've struggled. They're not done yet. Here's the 0-1 from Martin. Another curveball tapped behind home plate, maybe off of the catcher Luke Lavin.
No, this team wants to keep playing. It's so important to have. You know, I know so much of the game is talent, but not to be so cheesy. There's value in caring. There's value in playing hard. The Crawdads play hard. Not over.
No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Helfrich trying to stay alive. Here's the 0-2. Slider grounded through the left side of the infield, a base hit. Casey Cummings being held up at third base, but Ryder Helfrich singles in the 8th. It's his 2nd hit of the day. Runners on the corners for the Dads.
Have a day, Ryder. Have a week. There were some questions going into the last week of play against Healdsburg-Sonoma. What's he going to do against D1 pitching? What's he going to do? You know, he's an Arkansas commit. He's a top 5 catcher in the nation. But he really hadn't done that much. He's taken a lot of walks, gotten hit, hasn't struck out much, but he's proving he's ready. Get this kid to the SEC. Now. Let him win a couple more games with the Crawdads first.
He takes off for second. The pitch is a ball, and no throw from Luke Lavin as it gets by him. So 2 runners on the stolen base, or 2 runners in scoring position, correction, on the stolen base from Ryder Helfrich. Pitch was a ball to Ryan Ellis.
Now 29 steals on the year for the Crawdads against these Potters, with just 3 times caught stealing.
That's a crazy statistic because the Crawdads run well. I mean, they've stolen 84 bases this year. They've been caught 20 times.
It's a very good base running team.
Yes.
But to think that 27 of those 82, roughly a third, comes against one team.
And, you know, Luke Lavin, future D1 catcher, just hasn't been able to throw guys out.
Yeah.
This team runs well. Potters infield will come in with 2 runners in scoring position. Cummings on third. Helfrich a huge lead off second base and a 1-0 count to Ryan Ellis. Fastball outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
It's a 4-run game Crawdads would absolutely love to add on. They've really struggled to close the door. There's no secret about that. EJ's been great today. Would love to keep him out for a 4th inning and have Crawdads only use 2 today.
2-0, fastball on the inside, a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. And it looks like it's going to be EJ's game to finish with nobody warming in the Crawdad bullpen. Also, nobody warming in the Potter bullpen, so this could be Devin Martin's inning to finish. 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out, bottom of the 8th inning. Martin from the stretch delivers the 2-1. Fastball hit pretty well, straight away center field. Jordan Lewis going back onto the track now, coming back in. Both runners will tag. Cummings will score. Throw is cut off by Shimizo. And the Crawdads take a 6-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th.
Ryan Ellis has had a very, very good day. A ball that was stroked to the left center field gap for a double. 2 balls that were hit pretty well into the outfield for sac flies. Kid's back.
It's the 2nd RBI of the day, and it brings up Brian Duroff, who has reached base safely in all of his 4 trips to the plate. Got hit by a pitch in the 1st, singled, came around to 3rd in the 3rd, hit a solo home run in the 5th, and reached on an E5 in the 6th. Infield still in for the Potters. 1 out now. This one driven straight away center field. Lewis going back. He makes the catch and runs into the wall for out number 2. Helfrich will stroll to the plate, and the Crawdads lead 7-1 in the 8th.
That was the hardest hit ball of the day right there. Came off the bat of Brian Duroff. So Ellis has had good at bats. Duroff has had good at bats. Fellows has been hot. Pointer's crushed the ball. Cummings has had good at bats. Helfrich's had, all of a sudden, 1 game can turn a season around.
Base is clear now for Cole Fellows with 2 outs. 1-4-3 day for the left fielder. First pitch from Martin. Fastball down below the zone. 1-0. So 2 RBIs for both Brian Duroff, Ryan Ellis, and those 2 really hit the ball hard all today, and I think that just set the tone for this Crawdad lineup. 1-0, fastball, up and away, 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, and a couple RBI for Ryder Helfrich, too. So 9-1-2. You don't think of those as your run producers, but 6 runs batted in between the 3 of those.
2-0 from Fellows. Fastball swung on and missed. 2 balls and a strike.
And really all the runs batted in have come from 9-1-2-3.
Infield, outfield straight up with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 runs home in the 8th for the Crawdads. They lead 7-1. Here's the 2-1 to Fellows. Fastball grounded into the Potters' dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crawdads scored 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, now 2 here in the 8th. 7 runs, 10 hits, an error. 1-5-4 for the Potters. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs to Fellows. Here it comes from Martin. Change up, swung on and missed in the dirt to retire the side. First strikeout for Devin Martin. However, the Crawdads score 2 times on 2 hits. They leave nobody on. They lead 7-1. And they are 3 outs away from their first victory in the CCL playoffs since 2014. Pat Herrera, Nolan Wilson, and Luke Lavin coming up. E.J. McGrew has worked 3 scoreless innings. He's back out for a 4th, trying to close out what would be a 7-1 victory and the first Crawdads playoff victory since 2014. Their first under head coach Brant Cummings, and a chance to play tomorrow. Pat Herrera, Nolan Wilson, and Luke Lavin stand in the way. First pitch slider misses down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Potter's offense has been held scoreless since the 2nd inning. Nolan Wilson came around to score after his leadoff single. Here's the 1-0. Fastball swung on and missed, top of the zone, 1-1.
Crawdads haven't shut anyone out this year yet, but you could argue today should have been a shutout. The only run unearned.
2-out error from Max Farfan in the 7th. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody out, top of the 9th to Pat Herrera. Curveball right down the middle for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Looked like the hard slider. One and 2 from McGrew. Fastball way up and out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the Crawdads lost a series to the Stompers. They obviously swept the Healdsburg Prune Packers, but then they lost 2 of 3 to these Potters the series before that. 2-2, swung on and missed, and out number 1 in the 9th.
Big out number 1 for EJ. His 2nd strikeout, just buried the changeup in on the hands, and nothing that Pat Herrera could have done with that.
Right fielder, Nolan Wilson.
Nolan Wilson steps up. He's 1 for 3, a couple of ground outs to Max Farfan at 3rd. First pitch from the lefty is chopped left side. Shortstop King's got 2 hops. He goes to first. There's 2 down. 2 up, 2 down in the 9th inning. McGrew trying to work 4 straight scoreless innings and secure the victory for the Crawdads. Luke Lavin will step up to the plate as the last chance for the Lincoln Potters. It's their last chance to keep their season alive. Lefty on lefty matchup. Lavin is 1 for 3, doubled in the 7th inning. To lead off the 7th inning, he did not score. McGrew from the windup. First pitch curveball misses high. 1 ball and no strikes. E.J. McGrew has set down 8 straight since that double. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch, fastball down and away. 2 balls and no strikes.
No reason for EJ to play with his food right here in a 6-run game. Just got to throw strikes. Lavin's the only guy that has hit the ball hard off McGrew. But again, 6-run game.
2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Here's the 2-0 from McGrew. Slider tapped foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lavin maybe chasing its slider that could have been called a ball if taken. Potters have not scored since the 2nd inning. 7-1 Crawdads lead. Trying to win their first playoff game since 2014 and their first under head coach Brant Cummings. The slider misses outside, 3 balls and a strike.
We've seen Lincoln swing a lot in these 3-0, 3-1, 2-0 counts. EJ just got to throw something close to the zone. Lavin likely to swing.
3 balls and 1 strike. Here it comes from McGrew. Fastball high and tight. So Potters aren't done yet.
Yeah, Luke Lavin might be EJ's kryptonite right now. The only guy that's reached against him has reached twice. A very hard hit double and a 5-pitch walk. But again, 6-run game. Can't hit a 6-run home run.
Dom Rodriguez, the first baseman, will step into the right side of the batter's box. 1 of 3 singled back in the 2nd. Popped up in foul ground. Watches this one miss down and away. 1-0.
EJ's longest outing of the season was 4 innings, and that came just a couple days ago. So maybe starting to tire a little bit.
Still no action in the Crawdad bullpen. Here's the 1-0. Curveball at the knees, a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Crawdad offense came alive in the later innings. 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 8th. Here's the 1-1. Curveball just a touch off the outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Crawdads lead 7-1. Potters 1 run on 5 hits, 4 errors, 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Dads. This one's fouled back into the screen, and the Crawdads are 1 strike away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Luke Lavin off first. McGrew set. Here's the 2-2. Fastball grounded left side. Farfan in the hole. Goes to first. It is dug out in time. The Crawdads win. Their first playoff victory since 2014. Their first under head coach, Brant Cummings. And there will be a tomorrow.
Huge. 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 Tyler Blair was fantastic. EJ McGrew gets a 4-inning save. Dads are hot.
EJ McGrew with the save. Tyler Blair the win. The loss for today will go to Max Manning. Crawdads defeat the Lincoln Potters 7-1. They will face Healdsburg tomorrow in Healdsburg. 1 and done. There will be a tomorrow. I mean, you can't write the script any better than that, right? The Crawdads sweep the Prune Packers, drop 2 of 3 to the Stompers, come back, a convincing victory over the Lincoln Potters, and they're moving on.
I know, we could talk all day about the bats, and I think that the bats were great today. The bats were a huge part of it. I think the biggest part of today is keeping it to just 2 arms. EJ McGrew, we could call him a leverage arm, but tomorrow the Crawdads will have Dylan McShane, Ryan Troy, Cade Cushing, all available. And those are 3 arms you can rely on. Throw in Jackson Allen, who's been great. Throw in Ryan Delaney, who's had some big moments. The Crawdads, I think, are about as rested as you could ask for after a 1-game must-win.
So one more time, 1 run on 5 hits, 4 errors for the Potters, 7 runs on 10 hits, 1 error for the Crawdads. Final time of game, 2 hours and 10 minutes. Thank you all so much for tuning into this broadcast, the wild card round in the CCL North. Me and Austin going to step aside, hand it off to Justin DeHaas and Kobe Siegel. They'll carry you the rest of the way. So for Austin Oda, my name is Carson Mercier. We are signing off.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Walnut Creek Crawdads postgame show. I am your host, Justin DeHaas, alongside me, my co-host, Kobe Siegel, and we will have a few player of the game interviews shortly. Could be Tyler Blair, could be EJ McGrew, could be Brian Duroff, could be all three of them. So stay tuned for that, but the Crawdads come out victorious, 7-1. They will take on the Healdsburg Prune Packers tomorrow at Recreation Park. Believe it should probably be a 6:05 first pitch, but I don't know if that's confirmed yet or not. But you're going to want to watch that. But first, you got to watch this postgame show and hear our analysis because this was a great game. I mean, it was a very fast one. Finished it in about 2.5 hours, maybe less than that. And I mean, look, pitching was just dominant for the Crawdads. That's why you're going to see guys like Blair and McGrew potentially on the show. And Blair went 5 innings, only gave up 1 run, and McGrew shut down those last 4 innings. And I think it's huge because we talk about how Crawdads have been using a lot of arms lately. They only have to use 2 of them to get 9 innings, and that means everyone else should be available for tomorrow. What did you make of some of those performances?
Well, just overall, it was such a great pitching day. Um, uh, Only 2 walks. Not that many strikeouts, but the amount of ground balls they got, and here we got Brian Duroff play the
Right.
game. But
Yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about this pitching, but we got Brian Duroff who did it with the bat. Your Crawdads player of the game is brought to you by DVY Cards and Collectibles, a local shop of all your favorite cards and collectibles, conveniently located shop to 4 Freeway. Brian Duroff, pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you guys.
Alrighty, so let's just talk about the bomb that you hit first of all. I mean, some of the balls were getting blown back, but it seemed like yours was just too strong for that. What was going on in that bat? What were you seeing?
I mean, I think that was either the second or third time I saw that kid, so I kind of knew what he wanted to do, and he started out, through a breaker early, right in my wheelhouse, and I kind of just dropped the barrel on it, and I just backspun it, and it kept going. I thought it was gonna stay in, but it was nice to see one leave the park for a big homer.
yeah, and Brian, so a tough series against Stompers this weekend. How are you guys able to kind of mentally bounce back from that?
Yeah, so I think that Stomper series was tough since we knew we had to take 2 out of 3 to keep the 1 seed, and we, unfortunately didn't do that. But, I think it's fun to get more baseball in, and, I think once, the playoffs come around, I think everyone's ready to go, no matter if we're in the wild card or at the 1 seed at our place. It's got to play 9 innings anyway. So it was nice to get one under our belt and, some momentum going into tomorrow.
Yeah, you talk about that Stomper series. Casey Cummings, your Chabot teammate, came back on Sunday for that, and he was back in the lineup today. And since he was injured, you've been taking that second spot. First of all, talk to me about Casey and what he could be back for this lineup and how you've been able to do in that second spot.
Yeah, so I think, missing Casey kind of hurt. We know we were really thin on outfielders, and he's our true center fielder, as true as it gets. So having him back there kind of manning the outfield is big for us, And once he went down and I kind of went into that 2 spot, I think the whole Chabot season I hit 2, so I think it was just kind of normal, Ellie 1, me 2, and it just kind of, felt kind of, back where I was at. So, it's nice to get some more ABs and just see some pitches, so.
Yeah, and you consistently hit the ball really hard. Probably hit the ball, if not the hardest on the team, one of the hardest. So, how exactly do you generate the bat speed to just hit the ball so hard?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of a mixture. I think I've always had the kind of knack for hitting the ball hard, and I think just through work and just kind of going up there with some intent, like I'm going to do damage. And I think the biggest thing is just putting the barrel on the baseball, which seems easy, At times it's easier than others, but I think, it's just kind of always been there. And it's, as I've gotten older and stronger, it just seems to kind of stayed with me. So I think that's, a big part of my success, throughout the past couple seasons.
Yeah, and last question here. Obviously, the offense put up 7 runs, but Tyler Blair, EJ McGrew did their job on the mound. Can you just talk about their performances?
I mean, it was big. EJ and Tyler have kind of been there for us. They're on the mound. You know what you're getting. Weak contact, and they're filling up the zone. Not too many walks. I mean, I couldn't believe the game was over. It was really quick. Everybody loves that. So if we're pitching like that, our bats are always coming around. Like, it's just, we're going to be a tough team to beat. So just looking to continue all that going forward.
Alrighty, well, good luck in Healdsburg tomorrow.
Sweet. Thank you, guys. Thank
Alrighty,
you.
I'll take that from you, sir.
Sweet. Thank you, guys.
Alrighty, and so your Crawdads player of the game is brought to you by DVY Cards and Collectibles, a local shop of all your favorite cards and collectibles, conveniently located just off the 4 freeway. And so we had Mr. Brian DeRoff, BD himself, up in the booth, and we'll see if we get any more interviews. But yeah, I mean, we were talking about the pitching before DeRoff came up, and I mean, he was a big reason why Crawdads won again today too. I mean, look, couple hits, couple RBI. Talk about that tank that he hit. I mean, just talk about Duroff's performance.
Well, Durov has been he's been trending well for a little while now. In the middle of the season, the results weren't there, but he always kind of hits the ball hard. The ball just flies off his bat, and to be able to hit a home run to almost dead center on a day like today, where we saw Tyson Pointer have multiple balls that would have gone out on a normal day. Ryder Halfrick, a couple balls that would have gone out on a normal day. The fact that he was able to hit a home run, I mean, on a normal day, that ball is hit really far. I mean, I don't want to say like 435 feet, but like that could have been like a 440 shot. That was the fact that he was able to get out was just so impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to him about Casey Cummings, and you mentioned Ryder Helfrich. Those 8 and 9 hitters both had a couple hits as well, along with Duroff. So, I mean, you look at it, and Cummings was a guy who was out for a couple weeks, and now he's back, and he was struggling a little bit before, but, I mean, a couple hits today. If you could get Casey Cummings back to what his full form is, that's going to be huge for the squad. And Ryder Helfrich, we mentioned in the pregame show, is a kid who could be hitting near the top of the lineup, but instead Brandt likes to stick him in the 9th spot as that second leadoff hitter of sorts, and he's been doing really well there too. But yeah, I mean, look, offense came through, 10 hits today, very impressive. But I mean, was there anyone else in the lineup that caught your attention?
Well, Tyson Pointer, he had 3 balls that were hit really hard today. I don't know exact stat line. I don't know if he got on base today. But he hit 3 balls. All of them were to center field. That 2 of them on a normal day are probably homers, and then another one was just a line shot right at the center fielder. But I mean, he was just fantastic, and another guy was fantastic, Tyler Blair, our second player of the game.
Yes, sir. So we have Tyler Blair here. There we go, sir. Alrighty, TB, pleasure having you on the show.
What's going on?
Alrighty, so we had you as a player of the game last time you pitched against Healdsburg because you threw 5 innings, and then you just threw another 5 innings today. I mean, what's been going well for you over these last few starts?
I just got a lot of confidence right now, attacking the zone, getting ahead, trusting my catchers, Button and Helfrich, and yeah, just keeping it simple, and yeah, just keeping it simple, I guess.
Yeah. So you mentioned the trust in your catchers. What did Ryder Helfrich do today to help you out there?
Yeah, we talked before the game how we were going to attack the hitters, and like I said, kept it simple. But you know, my curveball was working, so you know we kept going to that, working backwards a lot of the times, and yeah, just trusting Ryder. He calls a great game.
Yeah, and you were able to go 5 innings, but E.J. McGrew was able to go 4 innings out of the bullpen. What was working for you and what was working for him? What were you seeing from his pitch mix?
Yeah, no, I just told Jake down there that I want to try to give our pitchers as much length as possible, and it was great that we got through the game with 2 pitchers. You know, that saves some pitching for tomorrow, which will help us out. But same thing with EJ. He just fills up the zone, attacks hitters, and, you know, Coach Cummings always says it. Even the best hitters get out 7 out of 10 times, so make him put it in play, and yeah.
And your last 2 starts, this one and your last one against Healdsburg, have been just very big moments for this team. Could we potentially see you down the line for a potential CCL championship game?
Definitely.
All right, love it.
Alrighty, well, pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. And so, yeah, I mean, look, had Tyler Blair on the show last time he pitched, 5 innings against Healdsburg. Before that, he went 4 innings against Solano, and he started out the season the bullpen, and talked to him last time. Yeah, look, he's just been building up all summer, right? And, I mean, to see him go out there again and, you know, give you 5 innings, we didn't know how long he was going to be able to pitch for. I think I mentioned in the pregame show maybe like 3 or something. That's something I heard before, but he gave you 5, and like he said, I mean, the Brant needed that because arms are running a little short. A lot of guys have been used lately, so to only have to use 2 of them, they won't be available tomorrow, obviously, but he even said he could be available for a 3-game series if they get there. Obviously, got to win tomorrow against Healdsburg, but talk to me about TB.
I mean, Tyler Blair was incredible. 5 innings, 0 earned, uh, 1 run let up on an error. But I talked about before the game, the ground balls would be key, and he got a lot of ground balls today. Not many balls up in the air, and well, even if they were up in the air, that wouldn't have been a problem considering the wind. But just Tyler Blair, clutch as ever again. I mean, coming off an injury to be able to make 2 back-to-back starts and give the Crawdads some length that the Crawdads haven't always had that length until recently, and he's really emerged uh, as a key force for the Crawdads because first half of the year he was all bullpen, 1 inning guy, maybe 2 innings, but for him to give these Crawdads some key starts has been awesome.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I mean, we talk about Tyler Blair, but I also want to just give some props to EJ McGrew. 4 innings today. He went 4 innings against the Stompers on July 28th. And McGrew's a guy that you could have in the rotation if you want to, but I think what Brant and pitching coach Jack Delmar like is having that lefty out of the bullpen that they can rely on. Obviously, the Crawdads lost Sean Fitzpatrick on Thursday, so he was just your best pitcher overall, and especially your best left-handed pitcher. You lose that, but you're able to get a guy like McGrew who can also go multiple innings in that southpaw stance. And look, I mean, overall, just solid outing for both guys. 1 run. Talk about Lincoln, and I mean, we mentioned the pregame show. They're a little depleted. They've lost some guys over the last few days and week that, I mean, you know, they're not at full strength per se, but it's still a good Lincoln squad nonetheless, a squad that finished 3rd in the North with a winning record. And, I mean, just talk about the Potters and just what went wrong for them today.
Well, their defense did not help them. 4 errors, including 2 by the left fielder. It was a really a tough day for him out there. But I mean, ultimately, I think this Crawdads lineup just really pounced on the Potters. They threw strikes for the most part. Craig Schmidt was fine, kind of cruising for most of the game. But the offense just kind of wasn't there. They were rolling over pretty much all day, and that's credit to Blair and EJ McGrew for kind of just having them off balance and just not a lot of hard hit balls today from them.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at the stats for the Potters, they had, 5 hits today, and all 5 of those hits came from guys in the top 6 of their lineup. So even though maybe they don't have as many guys as they normally would, Zach Chamizo, Nolan Wilson, Luke Lavin, these are still pretty good ball players that they have at the top and the heart of their lineup, but it's just 7 through 9 was 0 for 8 today. And, I mean, you know, it's just not a very deep lineup for Lincoln, and I think that was a huge problem for them too. But, I mean, you talk about Schmidt and how 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, couple strikeouts with 2 earned runs. He was coming off his best performance against Healdsburg where he had 10 strikeouts going into the 6th inning, and he was solid, but you look at Max Manning behind him, gives up 3 runs in 1 inning. Obviously not what you want if you are the Potters. And, I mean, Martin comes in with a couple innings and also gives up a couple earned runs. So, I mean, it was a close game for most of it. It's just I feel like the bullpen kind of let them down with 5 earned runs in those last few innings, but that was huge for the Crawdads to be able to give themselves a little bit of a cushion, some insurance runs. And, I mean, that's a big reason why a guy like EJ McGrew able to pitch well because he's got plenty of run support. And, yeah, I mean, look, you look at this game, Crawdads needed to win this game. Obviously, we're in playoff time. And, I mean, what can the Crawdads take away from this game that they're going to need when they travel to Healdsburg tomorrow?
Well, they can't panic. because the first 2 innings, a lot of strikeouts. Craig Schmidt kind of was mowing him down. You know, you know, I was kind of worried, but then Ryan Ellis, 3rd inning, 1 out, rips a double, and you're like, okay, that's the Ryan Ellis we've seen the entire season, and you kind of calm down a little bit. They score 1 in the 3rd, and then that Brian Duroff homer just kind of calms everyone down. You have a lead finally, and then in the later innings, the bats just really started to pop. But against Healdsburg, I think they got to get the bats going early. They cannot get down early to Healdsburg, but yeah, because when they beat Healdsburg last time, they scored like in each of the first 5 innings. So they're gonna need to kind of do that once again.
Yeah, and we talk about how Crawdads are a little short on arms right now. It was nice that they only had to use 2 of them
Huge.
today, but you look at that Healdsburg series, or not even series, it's just one game, but Healdsburg's going to be fresh. They have a couple days off. They also played a non-league game on Sunday, so, I mean, look, overall, you look at the Prune Packers, and theoretically, all hands on deck for them, and obviously they've got some really good pitching with Stamos, Ivazian. Gallan's no longer with the squad, but they got some dudes there that they can work in the bullpen, or depending on how much the starter goes. But I mean, look, overall, should be a fun one. Hey, Crawdads swept Healdsburg last time, which was about a week ago now. So I mean that helps, but I mean we talked about this in the pregame show. It doesn't matter what happened in the regular season because postseason's a whole different animal, and we'll see what we get from these Crawdads. But truly, an encouraging win today. Pretty easy one at that, not too stressful. So good for the dads. But I got any final thoughts?
Well, I think you said it perfectly. It doesn't matter that we had the number in the regular season. I remember Cubs Mets 2015. Cubs beat the Mets, I believe, 7 times. They went 7-0 against them and then got swept in the NLCS. So, yeah, whatever happened in the regular season doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So we're going to wrap up this post-game show, but, I mean, you got to tune into the Walnut Creek Crawdads streaming network tomorrow. 6 o'clock, first pitch. No response. Yeah? Okay, yeah, 6 o'clock first pitch. Going to be Recreation Park. If you want to show up to the game, that'd be awesome. I mean, there's going to be a lot of Healdsburg fans, so if we could get some dad fans to travel, that would be nice. But, yeah, look, hostile environment in Healdsburg should be a fun one. So pregame show should start around 5:40 for that one, so you're going to want to tune into that too. But for the postgame show, for my co-host, Kobe Siegel, I am Justin Haas.